Presume you're ready for your opening statement.
Hello, we're here. As promised.
Just 1 second. And for the record, I don't consent to that name, Your Honor.
Noted for the record. I intend to have the jury brought out. I presume you're ready to go.
Oh, this is going to be a roller coaster, guys.
Having a
Oh, Lord.
Get the camera.
Cut that camera, please, Mr. Tang, because I don't know what's about to happen there.
locating some of the files that I need. That's what I was trying to say.
All right, we'll take a moment. You can look. Tell me when you locate them.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Nigel. Thank you.
This is going to be the edge of madness. It's all right. I got a fresh pack of smokes. I got some lunch in me.
I got to get this Uber Eats working. We were talking about it before we came on. I got to get Uber Eats. Otherwise, I'm going to get hangry. There might be White Claws before this is over, and that's no good on an empty stomach.
Oh, come on. White Claws is bitch drinking. Nick, my blood pressure is fine. It won't be.
I have a question.
Probably about 5 minutes, but you know.
Okay.
The files that I'm attempting to locate are pertains directly to the witnesses that I will be calling. I'm not sure what witnesses are here today.
Well, let's do this.
None, because you
I'd
failed.
like you to at least do your
Nobody
opening
wants to
statement,
show
bring the
for
jury
you,
and do that.
idiot.
We'll give you an opportunity to look again. I can have the state write down who's here. I believe it's based on what you told them. And then if there's still something you need at that point, but I'd like to at least bring the jury out and start with your opening statement, okay?
Well, just so I'm clear, I didn't give a specific order in who I will be calling by specific order.
Which you
I
were
gave,
ordered to
a
do.
generalization of
Sure, I'll
who
have the
would be-
state, sorry.
who would be called on what day.
Why don't I have the state write down who's here presently, and then you can make that determination, but at least let's go with the opening statement, okay?
That's what I was trying to get at. It would help to know who's actually here today.
Before you make your
If
opening
you don't
statement.
know that,
So I know
you have a
if,
problem.
if
They're
they're
your
not here,
witnesses.
then essentially I can't call them.
You freaking moron.
Let's address that after. I'll have the state write down who they know to be here now,
All right,
or
yeah,
who's coming
blood
this
pressure's up.
afternoon, because there might have been people here this morning.
I wasn't going to
I
bust
believe they're
out,
still here, but I'll
Judge
let them write
Bryant.
that down for you so you can better prepare.
but I have
But
to.
at this point, I would like to bring the jury out for your opening statement. I presume you're going to give one.
I am.
Okay.
That took
Then
about
let's-
2 seconds
I'll have the jury
for
brought
me
out,
to
okay?
get the blood pressure up.
Oh, sweet Jesus! What?
Decision stands. I will not be addressing that further. Your objection is noted, and I will be continuing with the trial.
Is it verified proof for the record?
Sir,
What the
I
fuck
don't
does that
think I
mean?
need to do that,
Sorry.
or that the state needs to do that as well. And I
We
believe
just talked
your
about this,
statement about that is a misstatement of the law, and I do not intend to pursue that further.
Can you show me lawful law that says that?
I gave you a written decision. I have done that.
Can you show me lawful law that verifies that
Sir,
for the record?
I gave you a written
Lawful
decision.
law.
Right, I accept it for
2
value.
seconds.
and
Jesus.
And that's how I'm gonna answer that. So
It was
let's,
not
Okay.
verified proof.
We gotta get the fuzz out every time we start.
We still aren't.
sir, there is no requirement in the law that the state or the court establish that. So your
Actually,
objection
there
is
is.
noted.
For the record, has
This
to
is
be
not.
proven. Has to be proven. You know that just as well as
Mr. Brooks,
you know that.
please do not make statements that mischaracterize the law
You know it has to be proven
or that
for the
impugn the
record.
integrity of this
You know it
court
has to be
and
proven
the
on the
proceedings
record.
here.
You know
The
it
jury
has
is
to be proven.
advised to disregard the statements that Mr. Brooks is making regarding subject matter jurisdiction. They are not evidence, and you are to disregard them.
And they're stupid.
Not presented as evidence.
And they're not legal.
Has to be proven for the record.
The jury will disregard the incorrect statements of the law that Mr. Brooks is stating.
Where's lawful law that
The
is?
jury will
Mr. Brooks,
disregard
please.
stupid.
I am going
Lawful
to
law.
read one instruction. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
It's awful law, perhaps, but
The
not
defendant will
lawful.
now make an opening statement. The purpose of an opening statement is to give the defendant an opportunity to tell you what he expects the evidence will show so that you will better understand the evidence as it is introduced during the
Yes.
trial.
Kenneth,
I
you
must
missed my
caution
last
you, however,
outburst,
that the opening statements
which
are
I
not
admit was
evidence.
an outburst.
With that, go ahead, sir.
Obviously, I don't have any rehearsed or well prepared speech, so I'm just gonna speak from the heart.
Yeah, we're sure of that.
I would just like to first say that I want to bring to remembrance something I think everyone in this room has been taught pretty much as far back as we can remember, is that there's always two sides to every story. And for so long now, roughly a year, there's only truly been one side told of this story. And I've sat back and watched from countless narratives that's been put out there, the way this incident has been portrayed at times, and finally everyone getting a chance to get the full story. You won't hear me try to argue facts.
Because you don't have any.
The fact is that this incident was tragic, very tragic. That's not lost on me. Facts are that there's still a lot of people healing, a lot of families healing on both sides.
Okay.
And what I'm confident that the evidence will show, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional.
Fuck you.
But I'm confident
Sorry. Again, I just
that the evidence will show
forgive me, Mike. I don't mean to get you demonetized. I
is
just
that this incident was not planned. This incident was not intentional. And this incident was never even thought about. It's easy to I'm sorry. Just need a second. think is it's easy to look at the magnitude of something like this and form opinions. I think it's easy to disregard a lot of factors.
That would be a proper defense approach. He's not going there.
And I think in reference to what I stated earlier, it's easy to forget the other side of the coin. There's been a lot of suffering involved in this incident. A lot. Obviously, with the families, with the community. And
This is not the way that I expected him to
the
go.
alleged defendant's family as well. There's been a lot of suffering. A lot of misunderstanding. And I just want you to keep in mind everything that will be presented in its totality. Keep in mind.
Yeah, Parkland was about death, though.
The power that you have.
He's crying for himself. He's not crying for the victims. Let's be honest about this.
I believe that should escape your knowledge. This has been a long process for everybody. And what I believe is when it's time for you to make your decision, all of you.
No, this is a sentencing statement. This
Believe
isn't an
it.
opening argument. There is no argument. He knows there's no argument.
And I pray
That might
that
be the smartest thing that he
it's
has.
the right decision. That all the factors are weighed. There's been a lot of words thrown out there about the alleged. A lot of speculation, a lot of ridicule. Words like demon. Words like monster.
When was that elicited?
I literally don't know who he's referring to.
I know a lot of the time I've been before you see me with this mask on. I've had my reasons for that. But I feel now is the time to, it's important that you see me for who I am. No mask for who I am. I think this is the moment for that.
Opening arguments is not when you plead for mercy. It's when you state a defense.
I pray that your eyes and ears remain as open as possible. And understand that you alone decide this case, this matter. The power is in your hands. All of you.
Is this an opening argument or an allocution?
To determine for yourselves what truth is. Thank you.
That's his opening?
Wow.
Why bother calling any witnesses?
I don't know if he'll put on a case.
At this point, if that's your opening, I don't think you
Do you
do.
have their writing materials available? All right. Thank you. Mr. Brooks, you ready to call your first, would be your second witness, actually.
Yeah, the first one went awesome.
Yeah, that went great.
Called a
You
couple of
need a
your
minute?
victims. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Call a few
the
more of
folks
your
who don't
victims.
know, when I said allocution, that's when you basically take a plea and you admit your actions. He pretty much did that in his opening statement, which is a bold strategy. Oh my God, that was the worst opening I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm going to take a short break. I'll rise for the jury, please. We'll be with you shortly.
I mean, the judge doesn't know what to do. He's got to put on a case now, and he's not responsive.
Oh Lord, he's probably not. He's probably not
And-
going to be responsive for some time.
And I understand she doesn't, although that it's time to do that, she doesn't want to sit there and badger him in front of the jury.
At some point, you got to get him. Be like, look.
That's why she has to
This
send
is
him
your
out and
case.
say, are you putting on a case or not? Now's the time. But she doesn't want to do it in front of the jury, which makes sense.
No, and I
We're
think that's
looking
fair.
for, let us know if there's something you need in that regard. And Attorney Opper, if you could perhaps just
Please
confer with
ignore
him
the
over
drugs
which
talking.
witnesses are here. I'll step off the bench while you do that, and if someone can just let me know, I'll come back out in like between 5 and 10 minutes unless I'm told to come back out sooner.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Oh my freaking God.
I don't think I don't know. We'll see.
This is all play theater.
Mm-hmm.
He has the Bible right on top of his desk, facing the jury. Ah, Lord. I don't know what to do with that one. That was a weird opening.
We didn't know where it would go, but it honestly doesn't really surprise me. I didn't expect that specifically, but I'll tell you what would have surprised me is him giving a cogent opening argument. That would have been shocking.
Yeah,
You
that
did-
would have been
do
shocking.
that.
I mean, he has. There are defenses available. Are they perfect? No. But could you get some of the stuff knocked down to, say, a manslaughter, and maybe he has a shot at parole someday in his 70s? You might be able to make that happen.
Well, an
It'd
attorney
be
maybe.
extremely difficult. Huh?
An attorney might be able to do that. He just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, I think you and I, if we put our heads together, we can come up with some sort of an argument to try and bring that down to some sort of parolable offenses. Oh, Lord. I did not expect him to go with the sob story argument. And God help us if that argument actually works.
It was.
I'm coming off of the Parkland thing. So 3 of the 12 jurors apparently found for not death in Parkland. So who knows? Maybe you actually do have enough bleeding hearts out there that that sort of an argument is actually effective. I don't know, and I don't honestly want to see it replicated here.
Well, now I'm just curious. I don't even know if he didn't start calling witnesses, this trial is over.
If he doesn't start calling witnesses, yes, the trial is over.
Well, then
Judge gave him 5 to 10 minutes.
Then she's gonna say, all right, then I suppose by default defense rests, and then state you want to make your closing argument.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean, we're certainly gonna be done tomorrow.
I mean, you can't just sit catatonic in court indefinitely. Eventually something else has to happen.
Yeah, I've refused to speak is not particularly a good defense when you're representing yourself.
Well, this is a wild one. I was
God.
not expecting this.
I was surprised very much by how he took that opening statement. It was just a pure plea to sympathy.
Yeah, you're right. It was really a much more for sentencing type of situation.
Right.
If you're going to do that, you just waive opening. I'll call my first witness.
Yeah, save that for your closing argument, honestly.
Yeah.
Because now, if he does what he did to the other victim with the rest of his witnesses, he's going to look like more and more of a jerk.
If that's even possible.
Yeah, well, I have expanded my boundaries of what's possible over the course of this trial. Hey, My Cousin Vinny was a great movie.
Really was.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know what to do here because we don't really have a defined break.
Nah, she said 5 to 10 for him to compose himself, which is not unreasonable.
Well, maybe we need to introduce this. There. We
Yeah, I don't think you did that.
started the video now.
Oh, Lord.
That was
All right.
something I don't know what the over under is on this. This thing's going to proceed. If he's not going to do anything, like I said, de facto defense rests, and we move on to closing statements by the prosecution.
Well, that's sort of the question is, did he actually get any of his subpoenaed witnesses to the courthouse? I genuinely do not know.
Well, he certainly has the option of calling himself.
He does.
Well, given that opening statement, what are you going to say? You just go up there and blubber some more?
I don't know, because he already basically testified what he would have if he were called. Do you want to subject yourself to cross? No. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, well, he's not smart enough to appreciate that stuff.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, if he calls himself to the stand, let's talk about all your prior convictions.
I think he kicked the door open on that. Oh God, it's because, I mean, you could call it just as impeachment. I mean, there are significant ones that are within 10 years. So you're not really hitting up hard. I don't know what the Wisconsin rules of evidence are, but you're not hitting hard against like the federal rules. So that's a bad idea.
Please slow down the chat. All right, Nada, slow down the chat. What are we chatting about? Did nothing happen? Well, no, that's not true.
Opening.
All right.
I am super extremely guilty.
Mr. Brooks, have you found what you were looking for?
That was quick.
I'm just gonna go with. I'm just gonna work off the list of people who's here.
Okay.
If that's fine.
All right. You know who you're going to call first? We'll have that person ready.
I know he's not a lawyer.
Okay.
You don't need to remind me of things I
You want
already
to
know.
let us know so that the
Everybody chill.
state can assist with that?
He's calling a witness.
Here we go.
Otherwise, you can just call when we're.
I don't know, Tammy. I've been on
in
here.
front of the jury, so have the jury brought out, please.
Some of them are downstairs and some of them are out here, so
I'm probably back
it's
about
fine.
10,000
It
emails.
just will take a
Moment.
few minutes if they're over in the main courthouse.
Okay. Why don't you tell the state the first witness to make sure they're right outside the courtroom, sir?
Most likely, Bertrand.
I don't understand the question.
Most likely.
Do you want to give us two names and we'll have two people out there? I just want to make it go smoothly, sir. That's all.
I think the question was directed verdicts. Right,
Since I'm working
right,
off this
you find
list,
that.
I wasn't expecting that to be first.
Who do you want to call first? And we'll see if they're here.
Oh, this judge is literally holding his hand the entire time.
It's okay.
Apparently, this list is who's here. I'm guessing.
That's my understanding as well. Not yet. Is there someone you expected to be on the list that is not?
Kinda.
Do you want to make?
What does that mean?
Do you want me to address
That's
it
a
in
yes
any way?
or no question.
Kinda.
No.
He's incarcerated. He's got nothing else to think about.
All right, well then I'm going to instruct the jury to come out and then you can call your first witness.
Kinda. That's like being kinda dead because you hit them with your car. Oh God Almighty. It's 3 in the afternoon. It's still too early for this. I'd like to call the state of Wisconsin to the stand.
He will before it's over, I bet.
No, that subpoena was rejected a couple days ago. 3 in my time zone, Nanner. Yeah, that was the witness that wasn't on the list as being present. So they kind of weren't there, even though if you turn to your left,
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
their representatives are there.
Or you may call your first witness. Actually,
Oh,
your
God.
second witness.
The defense would like to call the plaintiff, state of Wisconsin, to the stand.
Here we go.
Object. The objection is noted. It is sustained. Call your next witness, please.
Reason for the sustain?
Not relevant. And you haven't named a person to go along with it.
The subpoena was accepted, Your Honor.
I'll take the issue up outside the presence of the jury if necessary. Call your next witness, please.
Well, I would like to.
That
make a
took no
motion
time at
to
all.
Dismiss for failure to appear by the plaintiff and for failure to state a claim from which relief can be granted.
I will take that up outside the presence of the jury. Next witness, please.
So is the state not present?
Mr. Brooks, I'm not going to address that any further.
The representatives of the
While the
state
jury's
are the
present, I'll
ones
take that up.
literally sitting at the
Outside their
table
presence,
next to
call your
you.
next witness, please.
You don't get to call them.
The defense calls Nicholas Kirby.
All right. Nicholas Kirby. Is that a witness who's in the hallway? Do we know? All
I don't believe in the hallway, but.
Okay, we've got an actual
Brought over,
live
Your Honor.
witness.
right, thank you. It'll be just a moment or two. I'll wait for that witness to come into the courtroom.
I got to see this. This is just getting weird. Well,
I
it
don't
started weird.
I don't
It's
think
getting
gonna
weirder.
get better. I think that it's going to be him berating a bunch of victims for a day and a half.
Agreed.
Agreed. I think Jason just gifted 20 memberships. You want to give him a shout out?
Jason,
Yep.
thank you, Jason. I didn't see it, but thank you. You just saw it. And also, while we're at it, are you doing? Did you work something up? Are you doing a video tonight?
I have an idea for one.
Sir, would you please
But
make your
this
way
might
to the
exhaust
witness
me
stand?
mentally.
It is up
Yeah.
one riser to my right. When you get
But I
there,
have an idea
please
for
stand in,
tomorrow, maybe
raise
during the
your
lunch
right hand,
break,
and my
if
friend
we
Teresa
continue covering it.
possibly will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. The first thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and then to spell.
I'm
each.
riveted.
Go ahead.
I don't know who this guy is.
First name Nicholas, last name Kirby, NICHOLASKIRBY.
Great, thank you. Go ahead, sir, your witness.
Yeah, remember, it's Wisconsin, and these are just normal people.
I'm here.
They didn't ask to be there.
What do you do for a living?
Mostly temp work.
Do you recall the events of November 21st of 2021?
All too well.
And what were you doing that day?
What time of the day?
Around 3 o'clock-ish.
3 o'clock-ish. Around 3 o'clock-ish, I was walking with Corey around Waukesha. Earlier, well, yeah.
And made reference to walking with Corey. Who is Corey?
Corey is a friend of Miss Patterson's.
And would it be fair to say that it's also a friend of yours?
Mutual friend, yes.
In reference to Corey?
Yes.
And what were you doing?
Walking around Waukesha, she was waiting for Miss Patterson to get done meeting with Mr. Brooks. You,
At 3 o'clock?
around 3 o'clock-ish. Around that time, I had advised her not to go meet with Mr. Brooks.
You made reference to Mr. Brooks.
No, don't go down that
Who's
route.
that?
That would be you.
And why would you say it would be you? That's you.
Because that's your name.
And you were privy to that information at the time?
I was privy to the information about you about a week prior to this incident.
About a week prior. And during your walking around, what were you doing with Corey?
Walking, like literally walking. We went from one store
What part of
walking
walking?
around downtown after Erica told us she was going to
Complicated
go and
concept.
meet with Mr. Brooks. That would be you. I had advised her not to do it because it was a bad idea. And I was in fear for her safety.
Yep, that's what I've determined so far. He doesn't like him, which is cool.
You made reference to going from one store to another. What stores are you referencing?
Dollar General and Speedway.
Did you go anywhere else?
No.
Did you ever go to a park?
No.
I think he's uncomfortable with law and crime cameras in the courtroom because he keeps glancing at them.
You made reference to knowing about Brooks a week prior to these events, you said?
He
I
really
didn't-
wouldn't like my chat.
I didn't know everything about him. Miss Patterson had showed me his rap sheet, if you will, and a picture of him, and that was about it. I had heard prior
I'm gonna advise, I'm gonna stop the witness unless you want him to go there, not to discuss what may or may not be conduct of Mr. Brooks prior to November 20.
I have not.
2021. With that understanding, go ahead and ask the
No,
next question.
nor have I. This is kind of unique.
Usually people have some
You made reference to a picture
preservation
you
instinct.
were shown?
just a photograph with a rap sheet behind it.
Thank you, Kathy.
And at some point, did you and your mutual friend Corey meet up with Miss Patterson?
Yes.
Do you recall where that was?
Corey and I were in the Dollar General area of Waukesha, which is between East and Broadway Street. We were walking towards or away from Dollar General towards where Erica had said that she was being assaulted and attacked.
I don't see any
And
productive cross
Do you
yet.
recall where that area was?
Yes.
Where was that area?
On White Rock Avenue, right across from White Rock Elementary, in front of the red apartments across from that area.
I mean, if he
Red
continues the way that he
apartments.
has, I don't have
Yes.
any questions for him.
Do you know what
He's
those
handling himself very well.
apartments are called?
I do not know the name. I'm guessing they're called
Just
White Rock.
helping the
Apartments.
state's case. Why would you mess around?
Yeah.
And do you know if there's a park in that immediate vicinity?
There is a park there named Frame Park, yes.
Did you ever go to Frame Park?
No. We were in that area near the park where the elementary school is and the apartments are.
About what time did you and your mutual friend Corey meet up with Miss Patterson?
Miss Patterson called me and said that she
He's
was.
got to be
about
real
what
careful
time
on
is
that
the
one.
question? About
And
what
he's
time?
too
I'm getting to
stupid
that.
to do it.
The witness answering his question specifically. What time?
Honestly, around what time the parade started. I would have to say like dusk. I honestly don't wear a watch, so sorry, I don't remember the time. But if I had to put it at a time, I'd probably say about 4:35-ish.
That's okay. Brooks doesn't either.
Let's back up a little bit.
I
Around
think
what
he's
time
using the
did
same
your
fire
mutual friend
defense
Corey
attorney's
first
witness
get
list and just doesn't know why they were being called.
I had worked that whole day, so we didn't meet up until I was done working, which was probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock.
And at some point, you received a phone call from Miss Patterson?
Yes,
You yourself?
yes.
And then at that point, what did you do?
When she told me that she was in trouble and she needed help, I went to her aid, which means I took off from where I was near Dollar General and ran to where she told me to go.
And when you got there, what did you see?
When I got there, well, halfway towards White Rock Elementary, I stopped a police officer at a barricade and I let him know that a woman was being assaulted in a vehicle.
And do you recall giving a description of who may have been assaulting your friend?
No,
Why not?
because at that point in time, the description didn't matter. I had the identity of the vehicle. So I told them you need to be looking for a red SUV with a woman screaming out of it.
And how did you come into the knowledge of the description of the vehicle?
Oh, good Lord.
Because I saw the vehicle.
At what point did you see the vehicle?
When Corey and I were walking up White Rock Avenue on the apartment building side of White Rock, which would have been my right if you were walking towards the train tracks that cross White Rock. On my left was White Rock Elementary. I walked past the red vehicle, didn't realize that she was in that vehicle. Then Corey and I crossed the street to White Rock Elementary and started walking down the sidewalk. And I heard her scream, Miss Patterson scream. I don't remember exactly what she said, but she screamed and I knew it was her. So I walked back across the street and escorted her across the street over to White Rock Elementary.
I don't think that's what
I'm just giving you full
I
description.
don't care what you think. You're the examiner.
Let's back up a little bit because that doesn't make sense.
Oh, he is just walking all over him. It's beautiful.
Oh,
You stated that
The witness is
you had a
crushing.
description of the vehicle. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
I don't mind that he showed up to court in a t-shirt.
The
He's
question
freaking
was,
walking circles
How
around
did
him.
you learn of the description of the vehicle at that point?
Ms. Patterson told me over the phone that she was in a red SUV. There aren't many red SUVs with young women screaming for help in Waukesha.
You are
Hands out.
a joy. I love this witness.
Let's
Why
just
would you
keep going.
So I'm assuming, because you made reference to stopping law enforcement before arriving to the scene. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
So I'm assuming somewhere in the time of you stopping the law enforcement officer to report what you were being told, and then actually walking past the vehicle as you said you did, and then hearing this and all this, did you give a full report to law enforcement?
At the time when someone was in help and needed help immediately, absolutely not. I said there's a woman being attacked in a red SUV. You need to call for backup now.
And then you just ran.
And then I
away.
ran towards the person that needed help.
Well, that's a pile of reasonable. I don't know what he's doing here.
Did you at any time give a more detailed report that evening?
No, not that evening.
Did you speak with any more law enforcement that evening?
Yes.
Do you recall whom that was?
I do not recall the officer's name that showed up in the SUV coming down White Rock, in the police squad SUV. I don't even know the name of the officers that turned into Frame Park and went to the boat launch instead of where Miss Patterson, myself, and Corey were. But yes, I did speak to an officer.
How did you come into the knowledge of where officers
I don't believe that a defense is going to be offered here.
went?
No,
Because
it's
me,
just
Erica, and Corey
harassing.
were arguing with Mr. Brooks on the side of the road of White Rock, right in front of White Rock Elementary. And the officer that I had stopped at the barricade when we were coming to Miss Patterson's aid had radioed for backup, and obviously given them description of the vehicle that I had described to them, the red SUV. That backup came, but they went to Frame Park. They did not go to where we were on White Rock.
Any idea why they went to Frame Park if you specifically told them a description of a vehicle and where it was located?
I did not tell them where the vehicle was located because at first incident, Mr. Brooks had taken off in his SUV.
He's likable, he's honest, he's credible, he is everything that you don't want as a witness, you freaking moron.
And he also can't stand you and can't wait to help convict you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's put him on the stand. Thank you, Sabs. You've been with us all the way through this one, and it's been a grind. We're not quite there yet.
We'll get there.
In the police report, and is it fair to say that the officer that took your report was writing down what you told them?
You mean
tried,
the
but no.
officer that I alerted about the trouble in the SUV?
Well, let me back up.
He really does. You can't jump down
the
my wiener.
next day
Is way better than this.
22nd of November, 2021. Did you speak with a detective at that time?
Yes, I did.
And during that interview, were they writing down what you were saying?
Kathy, you're right
I
on.
believe so, yes, but
Right on point
I
there.
believe it may also have been recorded on tape. I'm not sure.
I honestly think he just wants his time.
And again, everyone's entitled to their day in court.
And
Right.
do you yourself
That's all he wants. Like, I don't even think he
Stating
believes
to
he's doing anything.
the detective that your friend Miss Patterson was being assaulted somewhere near the area of White Rock School?
Objection, lady.
Overruled. He may answer. I'll just caution Mr.
All right, the
Brooks about leading
prosecution's starting to
questions
get
since
tired
it's
of this line of questioning, and
particular
they're going to
question you can
start
answer.
nitpicking questions a little bit.
Yes, I mentioned that I had received a phone call from Miss Patterson and that she was being assaulted while in a vehicle.
At any time, did you identify White Rock School?
I identified the street, which is named White Rock, the apartment buildings, and the school as well as Frame Park.
So you did identify Frame Park.
I identified the entire geographical area.
He just seems like a good-hearted, blue-collar guy that is just speaking honestly about what he saw. It comes across so well.
I could see him too as like, I don't want to be associated with this. He called me, he subpoenaed me, I have to. But I don't want the world to think that like I'm in league with this guy. I can see that. And it
And
makes
at
no
some
sense
point
in the
you
world.
said you heard your friend Miss Patterson screaming.
Yes.
And do you recall what she was screaming? I said, do he recall?
Asked for the question. He's asking, did he hear? So you may answer.
Thank you, Maria.
A yes or no.
I do not. Yes, she screamed. Do I remember what she was trying to say? No, I'm guessing it would be help. I'm in trouble. I would assume that that's what a person would scream when they're in trouble, is for help.
Oh, he's the best.
This is
He might be the best prosecution witness yet.
Do we still have the exhibit with the footage from the White Rock School available?
The security footage?
The security footage, I'm sorry.
We do. Would the state be willing to pull that out?
What, is he going to try to impeach his own witness now? Is that where we're going?
By which exhibit he would like us to publish.
There's 3 and 4. Door 1 and door 2. Is what I have.
I'm sorry, you said do.
Exhibits 3 and 4 have been received. One is of the White Rock door 1, the other is White Rock door 2. I believe those are the videos you're referring to.
Let's try door 2.
Okay, that's exhibit
Yeah, it would be
4.
helpful if you had a lawyer who actually
Let's just
had
put it
these
up for the
available
witness
as well.
Initially, make sure it's the one Mr. Brooks wants. And I appreciate
throw that
the
out there.
state with their assistance. Can you see that on your monitor, Mr. Brooks? Is this the one you're looking at?
Yeah, I can see it.
I believe there's 2 clips from this, but go ahead.
Can you? This one is roughly 7 minutes, so I would need a little bit of it played, if possible.
you need to define it better than that.
Receive, so go ahead. It'll be published, so everyone can see.
Well, before it's published, can you show it to the witness?
That's fine. We'll just play for the witness then.
I'm sorry, I should have said that before.
It's playing, so we'll let it go.
That's
Let us
actually
know if there's a
fair
point where we want to
procedure.
stop.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Colombo, the prosecution didn't call him because they didn't need him and they didn't want to bother him.
Yep. Yeah, they have their case they have made, but I'm sure they could have called 30 other people that would help too.
I'm sure. How about everybody at the freaking parade?
sure if this
But at
is
some
video.
point, you don't want to
It might be-
annoy the
it
jury.
might be door one.
Get your case across and be done.
It's exhibit
Go
3.
in, get out.
No. Maybe not. Let's watch.
Surgical strike. It's not a
I was
freaking
kind
war
of thinking that
campaign.
too.
Take a look. Of course, none of our statements right now are any kind of evidence. We're just trying to get to the right spot.
Can you
Pause right now at 105.
105? Can you back it up a few
Stop
seconds? Not 2 or 3, but maybe 5 seconds, 6 seconds, maybe.
It's at 59 seconds. The witness, it is on the witness stand, by the way, just so you're aware.
Okay.
He's watching it.
Can you play from here?
I think you're out. Plasmatics.
I mean, Mike, I don't know what you were taught in law school, but I was always told, take it like a surgical strike. Get in there, get your point across, get out.
Let's play.
Oh, okay.
Well, in addition to
Pause right
that,
here.
your opposition can say you're cumulative if you just keep doing the same things.
What you can see in
Yeah,
this
of course.
And you
video.
get things knocked out.
Do you
And
see
some of those might be the
anyone
better
get
things
in
in
or out of the vehicle that you
lieu
see?
of the worst things. Like,
Miss
it
Patterson is just exited the video.
doesn't make sense.
Just for the record, the video was played. It's exhibit 4 from 56 seconds.
People only
to a
have
minute
so much-
21. Go ahead.
I didn't hear that. The answer.
Miss Patterson was the one that exited the red SUV.
You saw someone exit.
Yes.
Can you wind it back?
To what? Again?
You want it back to 56 seconds?
No, to 105, where it was paused the first time.
Okay. Thank you for attempting to do that, Ms. Gussie. It is
I just-
paused at 1.
Just procedurally, this is so painful. I mean, it's hard to do if he was competent.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's hard enough even if you are competent. It's even worse if you're unprepared and incompetent. They're trying to do it in the courtroom while you have a witness on the stand.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. It really is.
Pause.
Paused again at 121.
Oh, okay.
Did you see anyone from in the video that you're being shown now from about the 1 minute and 5 second mark to where it's paused right now at 1 minute and 21 seconds? Did you observe anyone get in or out of the vehicle?
I'm going to take back what I said earlier. Apparently, according to this video, she did not exit your vehicle. She was behind the White Rock sign. That's why I did not see her.
Did you see anyone get into the vehicle?
Later on within the incident,
On-
yes.
On the video that you are able to view right now, from the 1 minute and 5 second mark to the 1 minute and 21 second mark, did you observe anyone get into the vehicle?
No.
Can you publish for the jury?
That's actually legitimate impeachment, but he's so honest about it. He's like, yeah, maybe I misrecalled that, but that's what the video says. That's what the video says. It doesn't actually impeach you.
Around the 105,
to some extent.
around that area.
105, exhibit 4.
I know we have to wait for the jury, right?
Right,
Okay.
and then you want it to the minute 21 mark again?
Yes, if
That's
I
a
may.
great response.
Go ahead.
Is there a judge that, I've seen some that are of a similar kind of mold, but it's rare.
And at that time, were you already en route to where you believe your friend was being assaulted?
My
at?
guess is he knows he's going down in
There's
flames,
speculation. This
but I don't know.
defendant has not even put this witness at this location at this time. He's just having him testify about what he's seeing in video.
I understand the objection. It's sustained. Please establish some foundation for this witness being present
So foundation objection. Fair point.
at that location.
He won't know how to
Or
do
more
it.
information about the incident.
You won't know how to do it. And she
Were
gave him
you
the
present
clue
at this time?
as she gave the
We
basics.
were on White Rock Avenue, but we were not in the general location of the school as of yet, as of that point in time.
So to your recollection, you didn't see anything that you're seeing right now or on this video.
He
You
testified
did
to
not see
screaming.
the day of the incident.
No, I definitely saw Miss Patterson in a red SUV that day.
Did you see?
At this specific time, no. Because I was down the road on White Rock talking to an officer who was manning the intersection of Hartwell and White Rock. And reporting
Great
at
answer.
that time.
A great answer. He doesn't know how to control him, so he's just walking all over him, just smacking him around. It's beautiful.
Objection as to relevance. If he wants to direct the video to a certain time and he would like to ask this witness about that particular time if the witness saw that, that's fine. But he can't go through each video and say, and ask general questions.
There's only been one video that's been shown.
I'm going to give Mr. Brooks some leeway on this. The
She's anticipating you're stupid.
is to be played from this moment, and then Mr. Brooks tell us when you want it to stop.
Okay. What I'm attempting to do for the record, Your Honor, is
Just play the video and you can ask your question.
I don't care what you're attempting
Right.
to do. Do what you're going to do.
And we'll roll as we go. Yeah.
can you pause it right there?
Video's paused at 1:38.
By what you are viewing in this video right now, had you and your mutual friend Corey linked up with Miss Patterson at that point?
At this point in time in the video, given from what I've just seen, that was when Erica was on the phone trying to get a hold of me. We were already on White Rock at that point in
I
time.
gotta say
We were
that's
not
right.
near the school at that point in time, though.
Maybe.
So that was when you would, to your recollection, that's when you would say the phone call to you was made?
One of the phone calls, yes, she made multiple phone calls to me. I think probably about 6. I had been having issues with my phone that day, so it had been turned on and off multiple times. The final time that it was turned on was when I picked up her phone call, and she said,
This is
"I
much
need
better
help.
than the freaking
I'm in
opening, which
trouble.
I thought was going to be the most
Come help me.
interesting aspect.
I'm being assaulted."
You just
That's
made
when I left.
you just made reference
I get you, Sam.
to
That was off
that
of
point
Buster
in the
B,
video
but I
being-
see the thought
Yeah,
pattern. I
I'm sorry.
do.
Oh, I'm so drained. That point in the video was when you made reference to that point in the video being when you received the phone call.
Yes. A phone call out of
A-
multiple from her.
That's fair, a phone call.
That's fair. Okay.
Would it
But
be
you're
fair to
impeaching
say,
your
though,
own witness. You're not
fair to
establishing
say
anything.
that-
Yeah.
This is in reference to you saying that you were having issues with your phone that day. Would it be fair to say that you're not sure how many phone calls you had received that day or who they were from?
I only received 51 phone calls on my phone that day that I actually do know. 6 of which belong to her.
This is
And all around the same
not
time?
working for
All
you.
around the town. She obviously didn't want to get off the phone because no one calls me 6 times in a row unless they need some help.
Can we continue to play from 138?
Go ahead.
And I want to reiterate, he is so likable, so normal, so straightforward. His credibility is
Paused at
perfect
1
as
minute,
far as I'm
47
concerned.
seconds.
Mhm.
Willing to admit when he was wrong
Do
and
you
was
see in
confronted
this
by
Not
video
reaching at
your
anything.
friend Miss Patterson walking back in the direction that she had just come from?
I see her on the phone talking to someone, which I assume would be me, telling me where
Mr.
she.
Kirby, I need you to answer the specific question that's being asked at the moment, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, I see her on White Rock on the phone, walking back in the direction she was originally.
Again, Your Honor, I'm
Coming
gonna object to this line of questioning unless the defendant can put this witness there. I don't know what the relevance of this testimony is.
I didn't even
The
get it.
exhibit has been received, it's been
They sure
published
are.
previously.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna give Mr. Brooks some leeway here, overruled.
At
I would like you to get to where you need to go, though.
that was the next question. At this point in the video, had you yet come into a range where you and your mutual friend Corey, had you yet come into a range where you can see Miss Patterson at that point?
Corey was the one that spotted her first.
Could you yourself see her at that point?
I heard her scream. That's what caught my attention.
And you made reference to that scream being heard from inside the vehicle. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, because that's where she was when she called me. And I was still on the phone with her while going down White Rock Avenue. Even while I was talking to the officer, I said, I'm on the phone with her right now. I'm trying to figure out where she is. Can you please call for backup? So we continued down White Rock to look for Miss Patterson.
Would it be fair to say that in the phone call you received, she told you where she was at, and that's the area that you were generally responding to with your mutual friend Corey?
Miss Patterson doesn't know Waukesha. I knew the area she was talking about because I live in that area.
Would it be fair to say that you just,
Heather Brooks doesn't know what his own point is.
when you had the interaction with law enforcement, that you stated you're on the phone with her right now trying to figure out where she was? So would it be fair to say at that point you didn't know where she was?
I knew that she was on White Rock. I didn't know exactly where or how far down on White Rock she was at that point in time. At that specific time, I did not know. It wasn't until I seen a red SUV parked in front of the apartment buildings on White Rock that I figured that might be the one that she was in.
No, it's not normal
It was
to.
Corey who spotted her across from the road.
From, we're paused at the 1 minute and 47
When there's a
second
break.
mark of this video. It's a little hard to see houses and things of the like. Can you point out in what area the red apartment you're referring to might be?
It's a touch
It's
screen.
a touch screen, so you can.
No, it's not generally normal to subpoena a witness who will beat the hell out of you legally and leave you lying in the dirt.
Okay.
That's not normal.
This
It's
is the entrance.
unbelievable.
This is the entrance to White Rock Elementary. Across the street and up maybe 20, 30 feet, there's an intersection leading from an apartment building to the White Rock campus. That would be up here in this general corner right here. This whole area.
Would it be fair to say that from where we're paused at in the video, we can't tell if there's any vehicle parked in that general area?
You literally just played the video where the vehicle
Just
turned
answer the
around.
question, sir.
No, you cannot see it from this angle.
We please clear the
Yeah.
arrow. Thank you. Would it be fair to say that where the video is paused now, that Miss Patterson is not, or who you identified as Miss Patterson is not inside of a vehicle?
She is not inside of a vehicle in this video, no.
Can we play it from 1 minute and 47 seconds?
Go ahead.
Pause there. At this point, had you come into a range where you can see Miss Patterson at that point?
No.
The record video's paused at 2:13.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
2:13.
Keep going.
And you made reference to your friend Corey spotting her first.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Corey had said that she thought she had seen her across the street, and we looked, and we crossed the street once, and then we crossed the street back over. Then we crossed again for the final time. That wasn't until later when the incident with Mr. Brooks took place.
And at this point, walking with your friend Corey, had she alerted you to spotting Miss Patterson at that point?
She said she's over here. She must be out of his car now or something. She said something along the lines of that. So we went across the street, and there was Miss Patterson hobbling down the street with a boot on her leg.
You made reference
Welcome to Luck Talk with Sean.
Your friend Corey saying she must be out of his car now. Do you know, as you were walking with your friend Corey, do you know if she observed Miss Patterson being in a vehicle at that point?
She was with me when the phone
I don't
call
know. Do we
came.
have a copy of the witness list?
So I assume that when someone tells me that they're in a vehicle, then they are in a vehicle. That does not mean that they would be in a vehicle by the time I got there. I was on foot, and I wasn't walking, I was running.
Can you play it from 2:13? Hard to see that in that quarter.
Hold on, let it play.
Okay. Pause right there. Is that 4:09?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say we see some individuals walking right here? Are you able to see that in the video?
Yes, I can see it.
At that time, had you come close enough to the scene where you can observe?
Yeah, Mike, God forbid you actually make a living.
No, I'm
Any
actually eating,
individuals in
so I
that
don't
area?
get hangry. But I'm here.
I don't remember the people that were in that
It's not making
area.
you guys
I was
watch me
focused
eat.
on the one, and that was the one in danger.
Could
So
you
no,
at that
Come on,
point
Mike the Mukbang
observe Miss
channel.
Patterson?
from my point on the street from where I was
At that time, yeah, where's paused at now?
during a parade, no.
Can we clear the circle? Thank you. We observed at some point Miss Patterson crossing over to the opposite side of the road.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Any
I was
idea-
on the phone with her at that point.
Could you observe from coming down White Rock? Can you observe that from where you were at that time?
I was.
What are you trying to
White
accomplish
Rock
with
and
this
Hartwell,
stupid
which
line
she
of
said that she was
questioning?
by some red apartment buildings.
Could you see her from that position?
No, not from that far down.
I'm starting to get frustrated, guys.
409.
Go ahead.
I can't make it make sense. I've tried, and I've tried not to talk over them, but it just I'm losing my
Pause
patience.
right there.
Pausing at 4:18.
418, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You see the two individuals here?
Yep,
Do you know who those individuals are?
that's me and Miss Corey.
So at 409 to
I was at
418,
peace for
you were
a
able
little
to come
while.
into view of Miss Patterson at that point?
No, I wasn't. I was on my phone trying to call her back to find out where she was.
Can we clear this circle? Thank you. So at this point right here where the video is paused, 418, you weren't able to observe Miss Patterson on White Rock Avenue at that point?
Judge, you asked to answer.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
I was not looking ahead of me. As you can tell by the video, I was looking at my phone trying to call Miss Patterson back because she was not answering her phone. That scared me. So I told Corey to keep an eye out, look for her as I tried to keep calling her. When I looked up and we got past the White Rock Elementary School sign, that was when I seen her.
Would it be fair to say that judging from the video, the White Rock, let me back up. Are you referring to the sign right here that says White Rock Campus?
I'm referring to where the end of the school building itself meets the driveway or the road that's there. There's a turnoff road.
I apologize. Can we take that X from next to the White Rock Campus sign? So can you point to exactly what you're referring to?
Where that intersection is, where I just drew that little X, that intersection cuts across from the other side of White Rock to the other side and leads to a road, but also there's the frame park area there, and I believe there's a boat launch there somewhere. I don't know.
And at that point, you were able to observe Miss Patterson.
I observed her walking when Corey had told me that she had seen her. And so we grabbed her and started to leave to turn around. At that point in time, an officer was coming to Frame Park because of the report that I had given.
So you observed Miss Patterson walking and not inside of a vehicle?
At that point in time, no.
No, as in
She was not in a vehicle at that point in time when we finally came upon her.
God, he is such a patient witness, and this judge is letting him go on far too long.
So when, if at any time, did you observe Miss Patterson inside of a vehicle?
When she was going back into his vehicle to get her things or whatever it was that she was trying to pull out of his car, her phone or something or whatever.
Can we play the video from 418?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can we clear the X?
Oh my God, this is all a delay
Right,
tactic.
421.
I'm gonna lose it. This is the most patient witness. I would not have that composure. At some point, I would just start yelling at him.
Pause right here. Is it fair to say it stopped at 4 minutes and 38 seconds? Is it fair to say from
Yes,
the video
he's trying to impeach his own witness.
that two people right there are crossing the road?
Yes.
And do you know the identity of those two people?
That's me.
He doesn't have a point to get to.
Would it be fair to say that at that time you observed Miss Patterson?
That was when I first noticed the red Jeep or red SUV, whatever you want to call it, across the street. We had zigzagged up White Rock, going from one side to another, looking for Erica. When we
I don't
ended
know
up
what the
on this
goddamn
side,
point is.
the red SUV was parked in front of the apartment buildings. There was a tree here, and Miss Erica came from the passenger side of the vehicle around the back. That's when I heard her yell something. That's when I went over.
You made reference to Miss Patterson coming from around the vehicle.
Coming from the passenger side. So I had assumed that she had just gotten out of the vehicle.
Figuring out the reason
You know
is that they don't care. He's making
If I
an
didn't
ass
see
of
her
himself,
earlier when I was
and
on
they're
White
totally
Rock or
okay
a
with
vehicle
that.
earlier on White Rock, how could I know?
Did you see her in the vehicle at that time?
I seen her come from around the vehicle. I am not actually sure if she was in the vehicle. at that
Jessa,
point in
I am
time.
stealing that.
I was just going by
in the
what she said
future.
over the phone.
Okay.
So my
understood.
assumption is that she was in a vehicle.
All right, next question.
If it pleases Your Honor, do we have a better view of this point in particular?
I don't know.
Maybe on Exhibit 3 might be a better view of this
If you have a
particular part?
specific spot to direct the state to, then I will have them do that, but
can we view Exhibit 3?
do you have a specific spot to direct the state to on exhibit?
I'm not sure. It's been, I don't know how long since we viewed that exhibit. I don't know how long it is.
No, this is a delay tactic. Tell him freaking no. If you can't prepare your own exhibits, go to hell. This is your case in chief. They don't have to do it for you.
How do you really feel about that, John?
I think I made myself fairly clear on this.
I think you did. Thank you. Thank you for holding it down.
You're good.
That was Uber Eats. A little small cheval. For those of you in the Chicago area, you'll know that that's some kind of good. I feel like a new man.
I'm just reviewing my notes. If there's a specific spot that you recall, I might be able to direct the state to that. But you'll have to
No,
give me a little more
stop.
information.
Stop helping him. If he can't present his own exhibits, it's not like he has anything else to do in life.
The length of the video. I'm pretty sure I would know the exact spot. I don't know how long that video is.
Because frankly, it's the last actual functional work that he's going to do for the rest of his life. So just prepare your exhibits ahead of time.
You might stamp some license plates before it's over.
Yeah, crack a couple rocks.
Make some big rocks into small rocks.
I don't know. Does Wisconsin still have chain gangs?
I don't know.
You can ask your next question. You need to be able to tell the state with more specificity which part of which exhibit and at what point.
Well, I know the exhibit. I just
law is hard,
exhibit
loser.
would be 3,
Mm-hmm.
and the spot, judging on the length of the exhibit, would be towards the end of the exhibit.
And you sure it's exhibit 3?
That
be
would
exhibit
be.
4.
I got to refresh because I don't think the comments are coming through. I'll be right back.
That's my understanding. All right, so we're done with this exhibit?
Yes.
All right, turn that off. I'm going to just ask the state to just preview to the parties. We'll see if we can find it quickly on exhibit 3.
Yes. So it's
Looks like it's 4.
about 4:14, a little over 4 minutes. So I would say around about the 3:30-ish mark, if that helps.
Well, we're going to just show it to you in the state, and if it helps you, then you can ask this witness a question about it. Otherwise, we're going to move on.
I don't know.
I would say take it back to about 3:15.
This is the footage, though, you're looking
Yes,
for?
this is the footage. Yes.
Your own witness
Start?
just
Actually-
buried you.
It was fun to watch, though. It really was.
What do you intend
3
to
minutes.
accomplish right
Exactly.
now?
This is definitely the video.
All right, this has previously been received. Why don't we watch it from this point forward and then ask your questions?
But before it's played,
Don't hit that yet. Sorry.
This is what she warned him about, opening the door and a bunch
Go
of
ahead,
stuff.
tell me what you want to do.
Not that it matters, but-
No, I mean, he's
Sure.
going away for life
Yeah,
anyway.
that's
There's
fine.
no
Right.
way that's not going to happen.
Well, I don't want to have to play it twice for the jury. So if you're
Okay.
going to question him, let's show it.
But
It's
there are
already been
ways.
said.
So should it just publish
Why
now
don't
or
we
just?
publish
In my
it, and
best
this
case
point,
scenario,
play
I
it,
could
and
make
ask the
that
witness
6
questions
manslaughter
regarding-
charges with
okay.
possible life with possible
So it's at
parole.
3 minutes.
Maybe.
It's
That'd be my
1
best
minute
case
and
scenario.
14 seconds to get from this.
And I think maybe I could pull that off.
Publishing or
Yes, we'll publish
Oh.
now.
Wouldn't be easy.
Jury can let me know when it's on the.
It's
monitor
plausible if
for the
you-
jury.
But he'd have to listen to you, and he'd have to.
You would need to shut the
up.
hell up and let me
Yep.
actually run the case.
Yep.
Like that is actually a plausible outcome from this circumstance. I'm not saying it's a good one, but you
do you
work for your client.
right now it's paused at 3 minutes. This
Oh, it was so
does
good.
looking at this video right now bring any recollection of that day back to you?
Oh, Cheval, it's your only free endorsement, oh, Cheval.
And using the touchscreen, can you identify if you see yourself in this video? Can you identify?
Thank you,
where are?
Adirondack.
I'm right here.
And can you identify who the other person is that's shown on the exhibit?
But you could actually get
That's
that
Miss
there.
Corey.
I don't know. I'm getting a second
Play
win.
from
This
right
witness
here.
is so fun. I want him.
Oh,
I want him to call some more.
Well, before we play,
Oh God.
could you see from right there where you are? Can you see Miss Patterson, where her position is at that point?
Yeah,
No.
Tiana. I have met Kurt. We've
Can we
talked.
play it from right there?
Go ahead.
We're kind of similar in our presentation.
Can we pause?
You reminds me a lot of my
Um,
best friend from law school.
It's fair to say that we can see you and Miss Corey running towards the area of the vehicle that just stopped. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And where was Miss Patterson at this time, if you recall?
At that point in time, she had met up with Corey. Corey had walked ahead of me, and her and I were looking for her. I didn't see her right away. Corey did, and she just told me she's in a red car. So that's what we were looking for.
At that time, was Miss Patterson inside of the vehicle?
I do not recall. But what I do recall is the owner of the vehicle getting out of the vehicle, and that became my primary concern.
So fast a little bit.
Mama Moss over at your house, John?
We
That would be
observed
awesome.
you and Miss Corey running towards the area.
I take delivery.
Why such the urgency?
I was gonna say it seems like a good deal.
Patterson is a mutual friend of ours. She said she was in trouble. I don't play around when people are in trouble.
Can we play it from? It's paused at 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Can we play a little bit of it from there?
Go ahead.
Pause right there. Can you see Miss Patterson? It's paused at 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Do you see Miss Patterson in this video? Where's
Yes.
paused at right now?
Yes.
Is she inside the vehicle?
No, she is not.
Had you seen her before that?
Corey had spotted her, not me before that. She did.
I don't
It
know
is fair
what
to
his
say that
legal
you were-
theory
that you
is.
were
Yes.
Also
I mean, Trent, that's a good way to put it.
in the area.
He's not trying to defeat a charge that he's not currently facing.
I'm
Not-
actually outside
not
of
the-
frame.
And
Not
shouldn't
the-
be brought in.
Not the video, but you are present on the scene. But that
Oh,
was fair to
yes.
say.
Well
Yes.
done, dummy.
Congratulations, the DV that
And
you're
what happened
not
at this
charged
point?
with.
You can recall.
At this point,
is
there was
what
a
you're
physical
spending an
altercation
entire
between
witness on.
Mr. Brooks and Miss Corey and Miss
Oh
Erica.
my
I
God.
was more worried about Miss Patterson being hurt, so I went for her to get her out of the way. I stepped
The
between them
level of
as best I could,
stupidity.
and I told Mr. Brooks he needs to leave. He needs to get out of here. Does not belong out here.
Do you recall?
I think that last chat was
There was a
actually
knife
100%
involved at
right.
that
Is
time?
that he's still
No.
arguing over
That is a
a
miscommunication.
charge that he wasn't
I
charged.
will clarify that. The Monday,
Hold on, there's not a question yet.
Okay.
He'll ask the questions. I appreciate that, but let Just answer the questions that are asked at this point. Go ahead.
All right, fine. Get rid of the battery. I don't care.
Maybe.
Throw the battery out.
likely.
Nobody. Like, obviously, it's not like
Did you at
nobody
any
cares,
point during
but
this?
you murdered 6 people. Get to the damn point.
Did you at any point during this altercation? Did you observe Miss Patterson get back into the vehicle at that point?
I observed her reaching into the vehicle for something. I don't know if
Here
she was
for the
grabbing a
commentary.
purse or something or whatnot. She was
Don't
grabbing
watch
something
more,
of her
don't watch
personal
more.
property out of the vehicle
Did you
while
observe her?
this was going on.
Did you observe her get into the vehicle?
No.
Can we play it from 3 minutes and 11 seconds, please?
Go ahead.
Only Mike gets to tell me to shut the fuck up.
Pause it right there. Did you see yourself come into the frame in this vehicle? At that
Yes.
point? Would that be you there?
Yes.
It would be fair to say that you had some type of jacket on, or a black jacket.
At one
that
point,
evening?
yes.
What happened to your jacket at that point?
That jacket hit the ground as soon as Mr. Brooks started going for the 2 women.
So you threw the jacket off,
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
and what was your reason for throwing your jacket off?
Well, if the court don't hate me for it, I'm just gonna say it's a good thing that there were 2 women in my way at that point in time.
And what do you mean by that?
That means when my jacket comes off, trouble's gonna happen. Especially if you're trying to assault a woman in front of me.
So that gesture was an aggressive
How'd that go for you?
gesture.
So that was a completely focused gesture.
Well, you did make reference to. Let me back up. Would it be fair to say that you just made reference to trouble following you throwing off your jacket?
No, not trouble following me.
Well, maybe that's the wrong way to put it, but
I'm
There would
confused
be
by your
trouble.
question.
excuse me.
God,
you
he
rephrase
picked the
the
wrong
question?
damn
Oh,
witness.
I'm sorry about that. You made reference to there being trouble when your jacket comes off. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
His first witness through the interpreter was fantastic as well.
That's true.
Would it be fair to say that that would be, or that
But not
could
for him.
Well, yes.
as an
Let's
aggressive
presume.
gesture?
Nothing's good for him right now.
Calls for speculation. How it's perceived calls for speculation.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
If you recall, who gave the report that there was a knife involved?
That was not put into a
That would be
report. That was a
crack cocaine.
miscommunication between me and an officer. I had been knifed earlier that week and had 12 stitches in one hand. I said, now I have a friend being assaulted and I need backup here. So when the police stopped and asked if there was a knife, I said, no, there was never any knife. I didn't have a knife. Miss Patterson, Miss Corey didn't have a knife. You didn't have a knife.
Did you get a chance to see
Not that I'm
the
aware
report
of.
that was taken
Would it be cool if it was?
by law enforcement from you?
Well, I'm the one. You mean you're talking about when I was on White Rock going to Miss Patterson?
No. The day of November 2020, the day of November 22nd, 2021. You made reference already to being interviewed by a detective, correct?
Yes.
And had you, after that, seen that report from that day?
No.
Are there any questions on cross-examination? No, Your Honor.
Yep. She is. I actually
And
caught
you
her
stated
testimony
that the reporting
first
of the
time.
knife was a miscommunication. You
Yes.
referred to it as.
Yes.
Did you at any time tell law enforcement that there was a knife involved in the altercation?
No.
Do you know if your friend Corey told law enforcement that there was a knife involved in the altercation?
No, she did not.
Do you know if your friend Miss Patterson told any law enforcement that there was a knife involved in the altercation?
She did not as well. No.
We're spending an hour on one of the least significant charges that he's facing. I just
Yeah.
want to reiterate that.
He was fleeing from this guy. That's tough once you're in a car. I mean, you can just lock your doors. You don't need to put on a parade.
And how long before the incident on November 21 of 2021 had you known Miss Patterson up until that point?
Probably maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks.
I want to back up to the phone call that you received from Miss Patterson.
No, please stop backing up. Let's
Okay.
just get done with this.
When she called you, did she give you a name of whoever may have been assaulting her?
She didn't have to. She was meeting one person that day, and I knew exactly who he was because she had showed me his picture and rap sheet prior. Her child's father, the father of their 15-year-old daughter, is who she was meeting up with that day. And I told her multiple times, it's not a good idea. I have a bad feeling about this.
No, their cross-examination is giving him a bottle of Jack Daniels and saying thank you for your service.
Yep.
Do you recall stating, well, actually, you testified today. Do you recall stating that you walked past
It's time.
the red SUV that was parked?
Yes.
Would it be fair to say from the two exhibit videos that we watched today that you in fact did not walk past any SUV?
Was the state of Wisconsin hit by the
Definitely
SUV?
walked past an SUV that was red on White Rock Avenue. Whether or not it was your specific SUV, it was still a red SUV. Up until this point, knowing Miss Patterson, I didn't know anything about the father of her child. I didn't know anything about his background except for what she showed me over the phone. Anything about his vehicle description, why would she need to tell me that?
I believe that is the case.
The video doesn't show you walking
It
past
appears to be.
red SUV.
If the
Is
video,
that fair to say?
if the video proves that, then yes.
Well, I think that requires them operating simultaneously, for lack of a better term.
In the report that you, well, in the report that was taken from you by a detective, do you yourself recall stating that the alleged defendant tried to punch and push you?
The alleged defendant being you, yes. Attempted to.
would it be fair to say from the video that it doesn't show you being pushed, or
No, it does not. It shows me pulling two women away from the situation.
any reason why you would state to detectives that the alleged defendant attempted to punch and push you?
Probably because there were three different people's fists flying, and I was just trying to get the people that I cared about out of the way of danger. So if my statement to the detective is off a little bit after watching a bunch of people get run over, I can understand why.
So you were at the parade that day?
I was not at the parade.
Great answer.
So
Trying
how
to get back to my house.
so how can you watch people being run over if you weren't at the parade that day?
I wasn't attending the parade. I was in the area that the parade route was in. My street is the parade route.
Did you see anyone injured that day
When
during the parade?
Yes, after I walked back through that area,
You saw someone get injured?
I saw a red SUV take off like a bat out of hell down Main Street and go through a crowd of people.
The question was, did you see this take place?
Oh my God! What a
With my
stupid
own
question.
freaking eyes. Yes. How many times do I have to say yes for you to understand it? YES spells yes.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I don't know.
Oh my God!
You had a
The last
love this
response.
guy.
The jury will disregard the last response. I'm just gonna remind both of you,
Well,
please answer
okay.
the questions that are asked. If follow-up needs to take place, either Mr. Brooks or the state will ask.
Is it
This
it
might be
fair
one
to
of the
look
best witnesses ever called,
in
and it's on
reference
the
to
defense
the
calling them.
Exhibit 3 video that we just viewed?
You're talking about the one by the elementary school.
Yeah, the one
Okay.
the one that we just viewed,
Just checking.
which would be Exhibit 3. Is it fair to say from that vehicle?
Mhm.
Got me.
Video.
I'm sorry. From that video, is it fair to say from that video that, in fact, there are not three people throwing punches? That'd
Oh,
be
you
fair
know
to
what? I
say?
actually do want to redirect this guy.
Are three people throwing hands in that video: Erica, Corey, and Mr. Brooks. Not myself. If you watch the video, you will see three pairs of hands go up towards one another. Whether one is stepping in to pull someone away from another or not.
All right, that just got
Hands are being
upgraded
brought
to
up.
Johnny Walker Blue. Thank you for your service. Why would you call somebody so rock damn solid?
Who clearly doesn't like you.
Right.
That's part of the testimony. It doesn't hide it.
Do you recall where you went after that altercation?
You mean where me and the two girls went? Where me and Miss Patterson
Yes,
and Miss
where-
Corey went?
Where you and
We
the two
started
friends went? Yes.
we started walking back. We turned to walk back the direction we had came. So taking White Rock to Main Street and then cutting through the neighborhood there to get over to where the women's shelter was. That was where we were going at that point in time. However, things took a drastic turn when the red SUV that I have described multiple times went down the opposite direction of White Rock Avenue across the railroad tracks and the intersection of Perkins and White Rock, and then turned back around and came back down. That is what you saw in the video here when the red vehicle pulled up on the school side of White Rock. After the altercation between Miss Patterson, Mr. Brooks, Miss Corey, and myself, the three of us, Miss Patterson, Miss Corey, We started to leave. I told Mr. Brooks, you need to get out of here. The police have been called. You need to leave. You need to leave now. You do not belong here. I did not expect.
Can you strike everything that's not pertaining to the question that was
Is he
asked?
making an unresponsive argument?
The entire event in its entirety.
I
Really?
understand. I'll strike the responsive being non-responsive to the question. The jury is to disregard it.
I thought everything you said was
Re-ask
responsive.
your question again.
Okay.
I disagree.
I thought everything you said was
Do you
responsive.
recall where you and your two female friends went after the altercation?
We started to head back in the direction of the women's shelter where they lived, where they were staying at the time.
Do you recall at any point during your travels to the women's shelter, as you referred to it, do you recall at any time coming into contact with another law enforcement officer?
Within that point in time, no. Except for the one that pulled out of Frame Park.
Do you recall at any time being stopped by a law enforcement officer on your way back to the women's shelter?
We were stopped partway down White Rock, and that was when I had told the officer, because he wouldn't get out of his SUV, I had let him know that they need to be on the lookout for a red SUV that took off back down White Rock towards Perkins Avenue, or street or road, whatever it is. The officer had asked me if there was someone with a knife, and that was when I held up my left hand, and I said no. I said I have 12 stitches from a knife injury on this hand, but this is what you need to be looking for, is this red SUV. And I'm guessing that's where the miscommunication of the knife came in, and I don't know where that officer went after that.
And
Super honest, straightforward
that was
answer.
the second law enforcement officer that you had spoke with that day at that time?
Yes.
It's not working. If that's his
You
plan,
are referring to
That's not gonna
November
happen here.
21st.
Correct.
Okay.
he's about as comfortable a witness as I've ever seen.
During that interaction with the second law enforcement officer, do you yourself recall
But if that's his
stating
tactic,
that
God, it might get interesting.
a black guy just assaulted my friend?
No.
Any reason why the officer would report that?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained. Calls for speculation.
Maybe so, Jerry, but you can't say that in the chat.
Did you yourself sustain any injuries during the altercation?
I ripped open 3 stitches on my hand, but that was more so from pulling Miss Corey away from Mr. Brooks so we could get out of there.
Did you report to any law enforcement? Well, I guess that would refer to the second law enforcement officer that you spoke with. Did you report that to that officer?
No. Because at the time I didn't notice it. I didn't notice my hand was ripped open again until I got home.
So it would be fair to say that you don't know how those stitches opened up. Would that be fair to say?
No, I'm pretty sure I know how they opened. My stitches got caught on the zipper on Corey's backpack. That's how the stitches were ripped out of my hand when I was trying to pull her away from Mr. Brooks and intervene between her, Mr. Brooks, and Miss Patterson.
You idiot. How do you think this helps you?
Knowing a little bit about stitches, would it be fair to say that a wound that was stitched being
Oh, God.
reopened would cause a little bit of pain? Would that be fair to say?
Objection. Relevance.
Rounds.
Sustained. Relevance.
Not necessarily, depending on your adrenaline level. You can pull a stitch and not notice it. I've done med
Noticing
mal
blood
for
from the,
2 years.
Stitches being reopened.
Didn't feel anything until I actually looked at it when I got home. 12 stitches coming across my thumb in kind of like a
Thank you.
fish hook type pattern. It was the 2 over here that ripped open, and the 1 up here. Or actually, I take that back. The 1 up here.
So just for the record, he's holding his left hand. He had his thumb
This might
out,
actually be
extended
a
almost
case
like
study.
an L, but with the other fingers almost like a C, and he was pointing to
Probably
his
20
left thumb near, I would say, the middle of the thumb, and then the curve of the thumb where on the inside where it goes up.
You can
towards the
easily
other-
pull a
towards the
stitch and
index
not
finger.
notice it.
Sorry.
You can easily refracture a previous fracture and
So
not
was it
notice.
2 stitches that opened or 3
It happens,
rounds?
particularly
He
when
may
you have a
answer
high
again without-
adrenaline environment.
It was 3.
And do you recall what time you made it home that evening?
Absolutely not.
Was it immediately after the altercation or sometime after? Or
No, I took the girls back to the shelter.
It doesn't.
It
And then
doesn't.
I started running back towards Main Street to try and see if I could avoid the parade traffic. And that's when I saw the red SUV go down Main Street.
Well, he's doing a crap job on this one. Daniela, as well as law. That's also not his thing.
and do you recall speaking with your women friends after you had made it home that evening?
Yes.
Did at any time you indicate to them that
Hold on, let him finish the question. He was asking what he
strike
indicated to
the
them.
question? I thought that's what I said.
You can ask your question. That's what I thought you were saying too.
Did you yourself at any time indicate to your female friends that you had sustained injury during the altercation?
No.
Objection of relevance.
Overruled, his answer may stand.
Somebody asked what I would do. Honestly, how would I advise my client? I think there's a way to get these brought down to manslaughter charges. If he continues to not listen, I'm going to withdraw his counsel. That's what I would do. I think you could get these brought down to manslaughter if you argued the emotional distress of the preceding incidents caused him to be reckless in his driving that caused the injuries.
Then you have
Maybe.
burden of proof on intent, and it's not easy, but that's your best defense. Yes.
That's the only one I can come up with.
In the time that you had known Miss Patterson,
The other
up
charges
until that
probably run
day of
concurrent,
November
so I don't
21st,
care.
2021. Had you yourself ever heard Miss Patterson refer to the alleged defendant by a different name?
How I really feel is I wish that Wisconsin had a death penalty.
Overruled, the witness may answer if he knows.
No. You mean like an
But
alias or
if
something?
I were his defense attorney, that would be my best bet. Bring the murder charges down to
Nickname and
manslaughter.
alias. I mean, let's be specific.
Let all of them run concurrently and see if maybe he has a shot at parole when he's in his 70s.
Not that I can personally recall, no, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
I don't know, Mike. Do you disagree with that idea?
No.
Do you recall if, to your knowledge,
That's a tough
was,
one.
your friend?
I'm not
That's gonna be
expert on
real
it.
Corey, as you
I would
referred
look
to,
at it, but probably not.
He had
do you
4
recall
competency hearings.
her stating that she was injured during the altercation?
She did tell me that she I believe she like hurt her finger or her fingernail or something like that, but I don't think it was relevant to the incident that had happened.
What do you mean by you don't think it was relevant to the incident that happened?
Just its relevance.
Sustained is to the form of the question.
No further questions?
Oh, thank God.
I decided whether to do cross at this time.
Praise the
How
Lord.
long do you believe it will be?
0 minutes because I have no
All right, thank you. And you can sit down, and we're gonna take a break.
I told you there would be no cross. We did all the work for them.
I'll rise for the jury. Let me excuse the jury for a second.
God bless you. Supporting Mike's Naughty Fund.
Oh God, what is it now? 3:30. We need to get through, or at least the schedule was to get through 5 more witnesses.
Oh God, no.
That's not going to happen.
Not not if he treats him like that.
No, this is going into next week. Depends how many he actually has in the courthouse.
Yeah, there won't be that many. You always name more witnesses than you're actually going to call. No, he's
Yeah, but-
insane.
Yeah, but don't discount
thank
this
you.
guy.
You may
Peter
be
Johnson,
seated.
this
You
is Central
may
Time.
Sit down, sir. And I presume he may be released from his subpoena. Done questioning him?
Yeah,
All right, you are released from your
Does he
subpoena,
think
sir.
he won that?
All right, let's take about a 15-minute break.
He just got a witness fluid.
Or can we do it when we come back?
No, thank you.
All right, Mr. Brooks, work with the state, please, for the next witness. We have them available.
So he named 13. He's had 2. He just cut one loose from a subpoena. So there's 10 at most possible based on the list.
Well, plus one of the 13 was the state of Wisconsin, which was tossed out.
I don't know why.
I'm shocked because, you know, I never personally met Wisconsin, but he seems like a nice guy.
I thought it was a woman.
Oh, is okay. Well, you know, why are you trying to gender
Why
people?
would you misgender the state of Wisconsin? You bastard.
Yeah, that's fair. I would call New York. I would refer to New York as woman like I would a ship, but that's fair enough.
If the Supreme Court can't do it, we certainly aren't going to try here at Law Talk with Mike. That.
I don't think that's necessarily an area we want to go into.
No.
Oh God,
I'll say this. I know one when I see one.
To those who don't know the legal reference, it's the Supreme Court standard for pornography.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
I did a girl in Wisconsin once. Nigel, I don't know if you're being real or not, but it could go either way with Nigel.
That's possible.
Bill Nash, thank you very much. What, Wisconsin identifies as a plaintiff? Oh. All right, I'm going to stop because I'm going to get myself in trouble. Yes, Wisconsin is a state. It is not a person. We are not assigning identity to it.
No, but the point is that you're representing on
Wisconsin.
To set aside the sovereign citizen bullshit. The prosecutors are operating on behalf of the people of the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
You have violated their laws that they voted for. Period. It has nothing to do with it being a single entity. There's no UCC nonsense. Just set that all aside. And I was actually really surprised he didn't go into any of that during his opening.
All right.
I know he was told that he couldn't, but he tried. I was shocked that he didn't try to anyway.
Wait a second. I'm truly, I know you want to talk about the trial because that's what we've been doing for the past 3 days. But I am burning with curiosity as to the woman named Wisconsin that Nigel actually dated one time. I really am. If a picture exists, you got to send that to me, Nigel. I got to know what we're dealing with here. Purely for scientific purposes.
I mean, there are plenty of women that I've known that were named Madison. So, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, good Lord. Naming my next child Wisconsin?
I think there are a bunch of children called ESPN, ESPN, based upon the sports network.
Did you just assume the state's gender?
Yes, you did.
I mean, as lighthearted as that is, somebody will take offense. Somebody will, oh, yeah.
No. You know what? To some extent, I don't care. This is your channel.
Yeah, somebody preemptively tell you to pound sand and get a sense of humor. How's that? The one in a billion person who's going to get into that. Okay. All right. So she should just start citing to UCC 2-207. At the very least, they could run into an attorney judge that doesn't understand that monstrosity. Well, yeah, that is the substance best approach is, and they've been doing it all along, is yes, you cite Supreme Court cases from 1832 and obscure UCC provisions that nobody cites. So off the top of our heads, an attorney's going, whatever. All right, give me a copy. I'll look at it. And then if you if you actually waste your time and look at one of these things, you'll be like, okay, well, this is just simply not applicable to anything that you're saying, whatsoever.
And by the way, not for nothing, that stupid motion that we went over the other night on trial by combat is actually more legally sound than any of their arguments.
Yes. There was a reasonable argument saying, look, this is a right we inherited and it hasn't been explicitly repealed. That's the form of the argument.
Right. And that's actually a legitimate argument.
Right. You couldn't, it's not going to actually happen, but intellectually you say that one thing follows the other. It really does make sense in that sense.
Oh, Lord.
I'm offended by the implication. Thank you. Thank you. This is what I love about my chat. Now, that's exactly what I was carping about, but I know that we're not actually offended by the implication, and therefore, good joke. Okay. State is masculine. Oh.
It's not
in Latin?
In Spanish.
In Spanish?
That's what he used.
Yeah. The few Latin language centric people. Mm-hmm. Sure. What's its gender in Hindi?
Well, again, it goes back to, it's like, stare decisis, to stand. So state is stare, which is actually technically it's a masculine genderized form of the verb. We don't need to go into too much education. This is not the right channel for that.
This is the wrong space for that altogether. I meant that I was not serious. Oh, okay. Well, a woman named Wisconsin is entirely plausible. I don't know one, but I'm sure one exists.
I am absolutely certain that there is a woman in this country named Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm certain that there's probably somebody named after every state. That's just not that far out there. It wouldn't be super common, but you'd find somebody.
I don't know if anyone's named New York. Maybe, but...
How about North Dakota?
I mean, Dakota, I've definitely known people named that.
Dakota, there you go. Okay. Wow. I don't know. John, you're not quite there yet because you just started, but you'll get there. I have like over 1,000 members now. Thank you all.
That sounds like a fortune.
It's awesome.
Although
you know what I do? It's a good thing that these memberships are gifted. I'll tell you what you get. You get exclusive content of me in court, and it's awful. It's terrible. You get me swearing in a witness on a deposition or something. It's not good. It's not good. I literally posted. I said this video is horrible. Do not watch it. And you know what? They do anyway.
Yeah, you know what? Nothing wrong with that. I'm at now 914 watch hours.
Bowman.
So that's something. About a quarter of the way there.
Chili. Chili's headed down a bad path.
What's the latest on that one?
I don't keep up with them now. I just there's nothing wrong with it. There's a whole group that just engages with Chili all the time.
Gotcha.
But it's just this nonsense, although albeit with lower level charges. He's not driving into a parade of people. I'll say that for Chili.
Well, that's, I mean, if that's our standard, then God, our society has gone off a cliff.
You hit the member button, or you hang out here. Leslie Prestwich, the people have been handing out gift memberships like candy. It might be your lucky day. I think you have to say you're open to receiving a gift. I don't know. That's what I hear.
Yeah, there is some sort of setting that you have to flip to accept them.
Who's this Dakota Fanning you speak of?
I've never heard of her.
I got a gal in Kalamazoo. Nobody's getting that reference. Oh no. That's some Glenn Miller, yo. Reminds me of my youth.
Oh my God, your chat apparently does not understand sarcasm.
Well, depends who you're dealing with. America Ferrara. Oh, we sold them on We've Never Heard of Dakota Fanning? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they keep saying actress. It's like, okay, I get it. Like that was the joke.
Hello from Louisiana. I'm almost wanting to change careers and go into law. Love the content. What about this?
No, don't do that.
What is wrong with your brain, Charles Gibson? Seriously. And thank you for the super chat. But what part of this event makes you want to do that?
Don't do it. It's a bad idea. Terrible decision.
Oh, I was getting hangry, and then thank you. Shout out to Uber Eats as well for getting that stuff over to my condo. Oh, that was some kind of good.
Yeah.
You know what the real problem was? I'm like, I've only got a couple. I'm like, I got a couple White Claws. I haven't eaten in forever. I don't know. I'm like, I can't have a couple drinks and just go crazy on an empty stomach right now. Because
I went to 7-Eleven and got some snacks during the lunch break. Like, that was a godsend. I have stuff.
35 people in the United
fridge
States
that went
named
cook.
Wisconsin, and one named Madison, Wisconsin. I'm willing to believe that, Grana, but I just don't know I don't know the source for that.
I believe it.
I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say grounds. Find this man. We need him as a guest. He's awesome. I love my chat does this to me all the time, but frankly, it ends up working. They think I know everybody on the planet, or everyone's willing to at least take my phone call. Just anybody like, oh, they're interesting. Why don't you have them on? Because they're the president? I don't know.
Sorry, the dogs are freaking out in the yard.
What kind of dogs are we talking about over there?
They are, I don't know, they're not mine, but I think they're Rottweilers.
Oh.
So they're cool. They're actually really chill, but they're loud.
Yeah. I hear them. They're kind of cute. My brother is named R. It makes sense. Trust me. Ingrid.
Okay.
Ingrid, it doesn't make sense.
I think everyone does know Law Talk with Mike, because he's got a serious network. He was bitching at me about getting a thumbnail, and the next thing I know, one of his folks, who's absolutely fantastic.
I checked that last night after we were done streaming. I went over because I've been yelling at him to do a thumbnail, and I go over and I'm like, "That is awesome! That is a great thumbnail." And then he texts me. He's like, "Well, I didn't do it. One of your viewers did." And I'm like, "Well, it remains. It's a good thumbnail."
Oh, it's a fantastic thumbnail.
Oh, stop it.
Chicagistan, masculine or other?
I think someone's messing with me here.
I think you're over
John,
that.
we have crossed that bridge, and you know it.
I think you passed that one.
If we're looking to get to 60,000, something went horribly wrong in the last hour.
You're about 400 away from 70K. That's pretty cool.
It's kind of hard to stump for subs on your own stream though, because most of the people are salty.
No, I know.
So go over to John's. Although he had to mess up his channel name, it's J. Rabine, which is an anagram of John O'Brien. Okay, but he had to be cute. Had to be cute about it.
Well, I didn't know I was necessarily going to be doing live stuff, so
It's KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Law Talk with Mike. I was going to just make it grunt, grunt, grunt.
All right, so I'm just going to rewrite it as Law Talk with John.
Law Talk with John. Have at it.
It's an idea.
That is my middle name.
Is it?
Michael John.
Michael John Gravlin. That's a good name.
Oui, c'est ça.
John Patrick O'Brien. I was actually in Dublin and I got turned away from a bar because somebody thought that my
John Patrick? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, John Patrick O'Brien.
It literally doesn't get any more Mick than that right there.
Yeah, I got turned away from a bar in Dublin because they thought it was a fake freaking ID because they're like, nobody's actually that Irish. I'm not kidding about that. That was when I was like 18.
Well, you announcing that you weren't a ginger probably didn't help the situation.
Nah, I probably did not.
What about you? Okay, all right, so what are we doing? Are they coming back?
I think so. Sooner. I think they said it was a 15-minute break.
Oh, I was leaning on you to get that burger down. I'm like, this is good. I was watching the whole time, but I'm like, I have got to eat. And you're like, you were holding down the fort. It was beautiful. All right, where we got here?
I have no problem doing that.
Yeah, if it was something mellow, I could have done it, but it's like good. It's like a good place, and it's like all kind of nasty and messy. It was a sloppy burger. I'm not going to sit there and eat that on a stream.
That's all good. The ginger thing came back.
Hey, the ginger thing got us through that horrific day yesterday.
Yeah, that's kind of true. It also probably made you like $200 today. So, what do you think we can expect for the next couple? I guess we're gonna maybe get 2 witnesses in.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. I thought he would just fall on his face, and he did fall on his face, but he's too dumb to recognize it. By the way, just a map nailed to a wall. Grounds for not slugging a White Claw on stream right now. Aww. Well, I do have one right here. What have I got? Tangerine White Claw. To go with my Tangerine Speedo.
Let's pretend that
There's a little caviar reference that nobody will get. I mean, nobody.
Let's pretend that this is anything alcoholic. It's just Gatorade.
If I would have known this, I would have gone and gotten some more White Claw, because I think that might be my last one. I might have one more. I think I have one more. And I don't know if that's going to get me through here. 342 it should. It should. Let me see what we got here.
All right, before you call me not Irish for not spilling a Guinness, give me a break. I'm trying to take a break from alcohol for a little bit.
Okay.
Sometimes Irishmen can actually do that.
You take some days off?
Yeah, tolerance break.
It's always a good plan to take days off. I was being kind of good for a few days, and then this trial happened.
Yeah, this trial is definitely certainly upgraded my budget for cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to keep it a little bit together on the alcohol front, but yeah, it's not been easy.
Oh, my chat's so cool. Damn. You're all right, Caviar, and that is a fantastic album, and that is a fantastic song. And if you're saying Gin and Mellow Yellow, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In Wisconsin, we have Uber Booze. I just Ubered food. I could Uber Booze. Of course, I'm smack ass in the middle of a large metropolitan area, and I'm not making this up.
We have DoorDash. They can deliver liquor.
I could be at one of 20 stores within a block of where I'm at. It's pretty lazy. I could probably go to the store and be back before they're back.
Is Uber Booze a mega pint? You know what? Honestly, that actually is semantically clever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone needs to take a break every now and again. I think it's a good thing to do.
Booze can't be delivered in Minnesota? I mean, if ever a place needed booze delivered, Minnesota's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, White Claw's not bad. Yeah, it's a little sweet. Not very sweet.
That's the thing is, I never particularly liked sweet alcohol. White Claw never did anything for me because I don't think carbonation with liquor is particularly enjoyable. I mean, at that point, why not just have the liquor and just call it a day?
Oh, I like the carbonation.
Do you?
Yeah. What am I usually? I usually get like Tito's and soda with a lime, and I just want the carbonation. That's what I want.
There. I mean, I can do twisted
and the
tea.
vodka. The vodka's also good.
I was never a vodka drinker. I was always dark liquor.
I like a good scotch. I like a good whiskey. But if I'm gonna have a few, I'd rather just have it clean.
Fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their preference.
Not that I've ever done that before. I'm just saying if you were to have more than one drink in an evening, say.
Anyone can always pick their preference. Pick their poison, as they say.
Wait.
Yeah, okay. I'm not taking that one. That one's on you.
We're not going there.
No, woodwork learner. I do not get my cigarettes Ubered. I walk down to the local 7-Eleven. And yes, I am legal to drink. I'm 30 years old, whether you believe it or not, which is shocking.
It's just funny, so am I.
Yeah. Bullshit. You already told everyone yesterday you were 52.
52? That's outrageous.
You said that.
I can't accept that sort of slander from you on my own channel.
Now, yeah, it's kind of shocking that I turned out this well after 12 years of drinking and smoking. So, I'm doing okay. Oh, Lord. And by the way, I actually did not have my first taste of I did not drink at all until I was 18 in college. So, I told you last night, Mike, that you look amazing for your age.
Well, thank you. You haven't seen me in person. Woo! That's a whole different kettle of fish there.
Well,
but you will, because I'm going to come down to Tampa and take you out for drinks.
Let's do it. When
I mean, you're local, so I'm relying on you.
Oh, I got a place.
Set up some naughty adventures for me before I get there. We're not just going to be flailing around after I get off the plane. You know what I'm saying?
I got some ideas.
You have some things in mind? I hear Tampa's got some things going on.
It does. Thank you. Oh, Lord.
Do I color my hair? God bless you. No, I do not color my hair. What remains of it is the color it is.
I actually want to ask you, because I was looking at some of your older videos. You slimmed down quite a bit. What did you do with that?
Not really.
Nothing?
People say that. I don't know.
Okay.
I think no, I'm just in terms of weight, I didn't really lose weight. I might have recompositioned my body a little bit.
Yeah, just your face, like kind of
Yeah.
narrowed out.
Maybe it's when I grew a beard.
Okay, maybe.
I
was
don't
just
know.
curious. I was not trying to put you on the spot.
No. I'm happier now than I was in a lot of ways, and that I think just sort of reflects, which sounds odd, but I think it's true.
That's fair.
I don't know. Best. There's a lot of good scotch.
There's a lot of good scotch. My favorite Irish whiskey is Redbreast. Fantastic.
We are back on the record. It's 3:58.
There we go.
Appearances are as they were before. Jury is coming into the courtroom.
Subject matter jurisdiction.
We should have known. John.
Request that,
Both
as
of us
I
really
understand it, is
apologize.
noted. The objection
Sounds
is
about right.
noted. It's overruled. We'll continue with the questioning of a witness. You may call your next witness as soon as all the jurors get in the jury box. All right, thank you. Please be seated.
All right, buckle up, folks. This is the end of the
Go ahead,
ride.
sir. You may call
This is the
your
end.
next witness.
Defense calls Heather R. Reamer.
Thank you.
He's still going to call witnesses tomorrow, just so we're clear. But we're getting there.
Well, this last one was fun. It was
Oh
an
God!
unmitigated disaster for his case. It was fun.
Why are you opening the Bible?
Right. I doubt he's ever read a word of it.
I doubt it has any legal relevance.
McKellen's good stuff. They're all good. All the ones you know are good.
Good afternoon, ma'am. If you would please make your way to the witness stand. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand. It is up a riser. Be mindful of that. And then my clerk, Teresa.
He was laughing because he's a
About to give
sociopath.
shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Thank you, ma'am. Please have a seat.
What is this business?
The first thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and then spell each.
Heather Reamer, HeatherRiemer.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir, your witness.
Good afternoon, Ms. Reamer. How are you feeling today?
I'm okay.
I want to direct your attention to the evening of November 21st of 2021. Do you recall what you were doing that evening?
I was at the Waukesha.
She might be
Christmas
one
parade.
that he.
And do you recall who you were with at the parade?
I was with my husband and 3 friends and one of their children.
About what time, if you recall, did you and your family arrive?
Right before it started, we were running late, and then by the time we got to where we were seated, it was
He's got to.
right before it started. I don't recall.
I don't know that he
exact time.
cares.
Do you recall where you and your family were positioned?
I think he knows it's a lost
along the
cause,
parade
if
route
I had to
that
say.
evening?
At the time, I don't remember, but I later found out that it was the Historical Society.
What do you recall weather-wise that
I
evening?
feel
Was it
terrible.
pretty
She
chilly
seems so
evening?
uncomfortable.
Yes.
If you recall,
Yes.
pretty windy.
Yes.
So I'm assuming at some point you observed a bit of commotion. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And do you recall what that commotion was?
Everyone running around was the biggest commotion.
At that point, Did the area you were positioned in get pretty loud, chaotic?
Yeah, screaming gets loud.
Before, do you remember what you and your family were doing directly prior to the parade that evening?
I don't recall.
At the point you observed this commotion, what did you do from that point?
Started running.
I'm assuming with you and your family all took the same course of action.
We all ran, yes.
And where did you run to?
Away from the parade route. I'm not familiar with streets. I'm thinking it's East Avenue. We ran down that road.
Would that be
I think it's
side street?
Yeah,
connected
Phoebe,
to
I agree
the
with you.
main parade
I
route?
think he's trying
Yes,
to
it was a
look
perpendicular route.
Do you recall
and
if
it's
that
not
side street was
playing.
barricaded in any way?
I don't recall.
I think you're absolutely
Do
right.
you recall if there were any law enforcement officers stationed at that side street?
I don't recall.
Yep.
This looks like bullying people. The last guy wasn't going to take it. I feel bad for. None of this is helping him. Like, remember, attorneys retain the ability to command people to
Did you,
appear.
at any time during the commotion when you and your family were at the parade,
But we
do
don't
you recall
do it
seeing anything that
in malice.
Yes.
And do you recall what that was?
Yes.
A red Ford SUV driving through faster than all the other cars in the parade.
If you're nice to a reporter, they'll clean up your transcript and take out all your ums.
And what did you observe this?
Absolutely right.
Time that it caught your attention.
If you're this guy,
It was honking.
they put every
Well, I heard honking. I'm not positive if it was the red SUV or another car alerting.
Did you notice any other vehicles around the vehicle you saw, following the vehicle you saw?
Following, no. It passed a float that had a vehicle in the parade. So it was by another vehicle, yes.
well, those gingers are resilient.
And it was passing the other vehicle you're
Yes.
referring to, correct?
I demand trial by combat. I'm throwing down the gauntlet.
And you stated a reference to honking. In your opinion, strictly your opinion, why would a vehicle honk its horn?
Yeah,
This is as
sort
bad
of.
as it gets. This is as bad as it gets.
I mean,
To alert
it is
somebody.
the defendant. If you're not an alleged defendant, there has been an indictment against you.
Do you recall when I'm assuming at some point the vehicle passed the position where you were, would that be fair to say?
Yes.
At any time during the vehicle's passing you, did you see who was driving the vehicle?
No.
Did you notice if they were intense to the vehicle as far as windows?
Yeah, can you speak up a bit?
Oh, I don't recall.
Thank you.
Do you recall if you were able to see into the vehicle?
I don't recall.
Do you recall if you got a chance to catch the license plate number of the vehicle?
No, I didn't.
And from your recollection, when the vehicle passed you, were the windows up or down?
I don't recall.
It's all right, Adam. We got
I got the point.
we got you, brother.
And did you at some time
That's funny anyway.
report what you saw to law enforcement that evening?
That evening, I did not know.
Did you at any time report what you had saw that evening to law enforcement?
Yes,
And do you recall what agency that law enforcement officer was from?
I don't recall. I'm going to assume Waukesha, but I don't recall.
And during the course of reporting what you saw, was it more of a recorded interview, or were they writing down what you were telling them?
I was on the phone, so I don't know what they were doing.
It's like $300 in super chats at this point on that subject.
Do you recall if that was in the days following the incident or a little longer after that?
It was after the incident. I don't know how long after.
Unless he has a really good reason to have her on the stand.
It's not looking good so far. This is shaping up to be another sympathetic, excellent witness.
With your family.
It's going to crush it.
Did you notice any of the side streets barricaded in any way? Any of them?
Yes,
Do you recall if there were law enforcement officers at those barricaded side streets?
I don't recall.
You're not getting anything out of her.
Do you recall about how long the parade had been ongoing before you saw this vehicle?
Thank you, Nathan
I
Carter.
don't recall.
And from that point, did you and your family immediately leave the parade and head home, or?
We left. We didn't head home.
The good news is I found a bottle of Prosecco.
Did you
I'd forgotten about.
Did you or
running
any
around.
of your family members suffer any injuries during this incident?
That's the good news of the day.
I don't even drink it, but yeah, I got that option available to me. I might need it before this is over. What if she says we're going to 6?
She might, in order to try and keep
try to keep the schedule
that were subpoenaed. If
She
he
would
goes
love-
as long as he did with the last one.
She would love to close this out for the weekend, but I don't see it.
No, it's not happening.
I mean, it's like grocery store Prosecco. It's nothing special. But
At any time after
But
the
it's here.
incident, do you recall seeing
It's here and it has alcohol.
right.
news reports related to this incident?
Yes.
10 pounds for the good scotch and naughty fun. That sounds like a project I can get
Did you keep up
behind.
with those reports, or was
Thank
it
you.
just that evening or the days?
Just a couple days within whatever was right immediately. I'm not a person to watch the news.
I don't think the prosecution thought that they needed anything more.
Yep. He'd be a lot
And after
better,
that,
but I don't think he's smart enough to get
initial
through it.
phone conversation with law enforcement.
He would
Need
be
more law
in
enforcement officers
$70,000
follow up
of
with you
debt and
about
failed out
No.
in 1L.
Did you yourself follow up with law enforcement after that
No.
initial report?
Yeah. Tell your common law professor that he can't tell you what to do. See how that works out for you. See how long you stay in law school.
You think you would ever pass Civ Pro?
Did you yourself observe the vehicle that passed you during the parade? Did you yourself witness any?
Oh my God, I would hate to be his contracts professor.
I don't believe so.
Well, at least he'd learn the concept of consideration and
That's all I
the
have.
fact that it's not applicable
Thank
to what
you.
he thinks
Any
it is.
cross?
Yes, briefly. Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon,
Well,
Mr.
that's
Reamer. Thank
pretty
you for
brief.
being here.
That's pretty brief, direct.
I'd like you to take a look at the man seated to my right, table to your left, Mr. Brooks. You ever seen that
Objection,
man
I don't
before?
consent to being called that name.
Noted.
Yes.
Tell us about when you've seen Mr. Brooks before.
Objection, leading.
It's cross-exam, so it's proper. They may leave.
I'm glad he didn't put her through the ringer. She seems like a nice lady.
As we were driving
and
to the
I
parade,
wouldn't like to see that.
We were coming to a stoplight and we saw the red SUV coming down the wrong way on the road. And I slowed down because the car in front of me started to back up to let him through.
This took place outside of a gas station, is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that we display for everybody exhibit number 7. It's previously been received and published.
Go ahead.
Objection to relevancy.
Exhibit 7 has previously been received.
I vote for blowing hookers when they come back with their
Relevance to this particular witness.
Yes, it is. Yes, go ahead and publish, Madam Clerk.
We're not serious about that.
Obviously
Not at
not.
all.
Mr. Reamer, can you see the map depicted on the screen in front of you?
Yes.
We're looking at the intersection of North Street and Barstow Street. Does that look correct to you?
Yes.
And is this the gas station that we're talking about?
Correct.
And you were parked on North Street facing southwestbound at the time, is that right?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Is that the way of traffic? I don't know.
Well, let's
Correct, so-
assume, based on these arrows here,
Oh,
Objection, speculation.
yep.
They're on the map. Overruled. Her answer was yes, and you may ask the next question.
Madam Clerk, can we please clear the annotations? And you saw the red SUV that we've been talking about come the wrong way on North Street, is that right?
Correct.
And what happened after that?
Should I draw?
Sure, yep, that's a touchscreen, go for it.
Nothing
so
that
I
I'm
stopped
aware of.
Roughly back here.
Or so I've read.
As the car that was here started to reverse this way.
Okay, can we please, let's
As
get
long
a
as you're
screen grab
properly
of this,
inoculated.
Your Honor, and mark it as Exhibit 7.
Why do you do this to me, Mike?
Or Charlie.
See Charlie, please.
It will be so marked. And just for the
I'm
record, the
usually
green
so
light
demure.
by Attorney Wichow. From looking at the exhibit left to right to demonstrate travel of a vehicle in his question.
Yeah, bad idea.
With the yellow mark on the screen.
That is a
We
good one.
received as
Many
seven.
better places to look.
Charlie, go ahead.
Objection to relevancy.
Overruled.
Not
You
everyone
saw
looks like
Darrell
this
Brooks
judge.
driving that red SUV in front of that gas station, is that correct?
Objection.
At
I
that
didn't
time, I
say
didn't
that out loud, did I?
Speculative.
Overruled, you may answer.
At that time, I didn't know his name, but yes.
But now that you see him sitting in court today,
Yes.
that's the guy.
Yes.
Objection, speculative.
Overruled, the record will reflect the identification as the defendant as the driver of the red SUV shoots out as depicted in this exhibit.
Thank you. May we please display for everybody exhibit number 15, which has also previously been received and published.
Go ahead.
Can we zoom in, please, on the intersection of Main Street and Northeast Avenue?
Objection, relevancy.
I presume the question will provide the relevance, so go
This
ahead.
is your witness.
You were sitting in front of the Historical Society, you testified?
Yes.
And do you recognize this map in front of you?
Objection, speculative.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
It's already been admitted.
Okay. Would
Do you
the
recognize
historical
the
society
exhibit that's been
be
previously admitted?
near this intersection that I'm circling, East and Main?
Yes.
Okay, we can please remove that annotation, Madam Clerk. When you
It does
saw
make
the
a
red
difference.
SUV drive by, you testified you could not see the driver, correct?
Correct.
Because it was going so fast?
Yes.
Did you ever see that SUV come to a stop at any point on Main Street?
No.
In fact, did you see it accelerate as it traveled towards more people?
No, I'm not going to get a green screen.
It says, overruled, the witness may answer.
I might hang my diplomas behind me, but yeah, I'm not.
And then I remembered you had called the witness, not the state. So cross-examination is appropriate. Fair enough, though. Next question.
Did we get an answer on that?
I said yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Redirect, sir.
Yes.
Do you want
good
any of the
Lord.
exhibits up?
All right, I'm not going anywhere near that comment, but that's hilarious.
I forgot what the one was before this.
7.
7.
7 was the map with near the gas station. This is 15. I'm going to turn it off until you tell me you need something.
I need exhibit 7.
All right, the state would put that up and we'll publish it for the jury as well.
Famous gingers through history.
And
A ginger Hall of Fame for that's a green screen.
when
Can I
showed this,
flip a bird on your channel?
exhibit on cross, you stated
This is a
you
G-rated channel here.
approximately.
John.
As a matter of fact, that wouldn't be fair. Can you erase that?
You can get it out later. You wouldn't lose anything.
It's
Were you-
clear.
Will you show again where your vehicle was positioned?
It's just a rough estimate, but
Okay.
probably right about here.
And where we?
That's when I initially slowed down. To stop.
Okay. And you stated there was another car that did a backing up motion. Can you show again where that vehicle was positioned?
If they were at the light going this way, backing up.
If you recall, or do you recall, if there were any vehicles in this space right here?
There was none.
They were human beings, you idiot.
Rough estimate. About how far would you estimate the distance is between your vehicle and the vehicle that was at the light? Rough estimate.
I never came to a complete stop back there. It's when I started to slow down.
So you were still kind of rolling forward a little bit?
Yes. Because they backed up and then moved forward. And so then I moved forward.
So you didn't come to a stop until you noticed that vehicle backing up?
No, I didn't come to a complete stop until we were back up at the light. I started to slow down at that point.
So where did you end up? I'm sorry, can you erase?
I have the dogs and racing cars going around my building, and yes,
the white
gingers have
Only- I
souls,
think it's
even
just
though I am not one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Allegedly.
Question answered.
We'll start this again. Where did you finally come to a complete stop at, if you recall? And at that time, well, back up a little bit before I get to that. You observed an SUV, you say, at some point before you came to a complete stop?
Yes.
And what did you see that vehicle do?
This way.
I said gingers have souls. I didn't say that
What did
they
you see
actually
after you noticed that it
contained
was,
them. I said that they kept them in their back pocket, like a sandwich.
would that be into the gas station?
Yes.
And what did you see the vehicle do at that point?
Roll down their window and yell something at the car in front of me.
Did it stop?
Yes.
Was it? I'm assuming You might know what I mean.
Maria,
Was
yes,
it
I
like
have
a
been to
break
Cigar
stop or was
City.
it a park stop? If you recall.
If you're not in the vehicle, how do you know that they're put it in park?
Well, break stop would be brake lights, but okay.
Objection, move to strike.
Grant that, strike the last statement made by the defendant, but you may ask your next question.
And how long were you at the light?
Just a very short time. It turned green pretty quickly.
Exactly.
And in that short time, you were able to see who was driving the vehicle
Did I not literally text that to you last night, Mike?
You did.
to the gas station.
Yes.
Is that the same SUV you saw at the parade that evening?
Yes.
The same vehicle that you said you don't recall if it was tinted or not?
Yes.
So at the point of seeing this vehicle at the gas station, at that point, did you notice any tints?
I don't recall.
Did you notice if there was anyone else in the vehicle at that time?
I only saw one person.
Could you see
How
into
is
the
this
back
in the scope of cross? This is redirect, right?
passenger seat of the vehicle?
Yes.
He stayed within scope basically so far. By accident, but
Was
yeah.
somebody in the passenger seat?
No.
But you don't know for sure about the back seat.
No, I couldn't see it.
Can we take down this?
All right.
I might have to check this out. I don't know what this is.
Pull up exhibit 15.
Burn brew.
Pull that back up.
The state would please pull that up and publish that for everyone.
For the record, I am much better looking
Hold
than
on, let's
Conan
make sure
O'Brien.
Okay, thank you. No problem, go ahead.
And you stated that you were in front of the Historical Society.
Correct.
And if I recall, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that would be somewhere around this area here.
Yes.
Sir,
Can
was
we,
that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Can
you.
we erase that white?
I
So
know
the
that, and I appreciate every
side
minute.
streets. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tap the screen.
And I'm sure Mike's pocketbook does
The
as well.
side streets would be Buckley Street and Northeast Avenue. Would that be fair to say by looking at the map?
Yes, that's what the map shows.
And you said you don't recall if those side streets were barricaded.
I wasn't at the intersection. The
You were-
Historical Society is at that intersection, but I was in front of the Historical Society.
So would it be fair to say you were close to the side street?
I was close, but not at it, so I don't know if there was barricades there. I wasn't close enough to be by barricades.
So you stated you ran away from the commotion. So it would be fair to say at some point you moved from your position in front of the Historical Society, correct?
Correct.
Oh
And
God, this is
do you
killing me.
recall what
Welcome to Let's Talk with John.
side street you went
If
down
you'd like to ask
when
questions,
you were running?
We ran up to the building of the
I'll try to do
Historical
so while
Society
he is
on
not
East
speaking.
Avenue.
We can what Just really quick. So that would be this side street here.
Yes.
We could take down exhibit, was it 15? And you stated that you knew the identification of the driver of this SUV based on what you observed at the gas station, correct?
Can you repeat that?
You stated that you. Let me back up. You were able to
See, Mike and I met each other.
based on what you
Shoot,
observed at the gas station, correct?
honestly, it was after I got on Nate's channel as a guest. I was invited
Do you
to
recall
a
the
kind
driver
of
was
law
wearing
tube
when you
kind of group
observed him
chat,
at the gas station?
and we got in touch with each other, and it was a great. Honestly,
Do you
it
yourself
was a great
recall
fit,
in
Mike
the
and I think, in
telephone
my opinion,
conversation with
he
law
might
enforcement stating
not
that the
necessarily
driver
agree,
was wearing
but I think we
a
bounced
red
off each
orange
other pretty
shirt?
well.
That was not from the gas station.
Can I teach? Yeah, I like to teach, but
So where would that description come from? if
this
not
is
the
sort
gas
of
station?
I
Mike's
saw
channel's more geared
video
toward
clip
entertainment.
of You in somebody's backyard.
So
There will
we
be
do
no
that.
teaching. Teaching is strictly verboten.
Go
So
finish
did you
your
observe the
goddamn
driver
meal.
vehicle wearing at the gas station?
I don't recall.
There you go. Yeah, I think that we do actually bounce off each other well.
So it'd be fair to say that in your phone conversation with law enforcement, you gave a description based on what you had seen.
The trial by combat was
From-
educational.
Yeah, I can do education on my side, and then we do entertainment on yours. So I'm not going to try and be too educational when I'm, I guess, on your channel.
The face was from the gas station.
And do you recall? in
There we
that
go. Simple rule. It's a
phone
simple
interview
rule.
stating that
Oh,
you
trust
weren't
me,
positive
Prestonic, I am not that
on the
innocent.
shirt color?
Yes.
You do not know the depravities that I have seen.
Do you recall in that phone interview stating that
I just
since
haven't lost my
seeing
soul over it.
the news that you may be getting the clothing description incorrect?
I remember saying that I've seen the news. I don't remember saying that that is why I'm getting it. It wasn't the same as when you were driving.
So would it be fair to say that your description came from watching footage at some point and from news reports at some point?
Not news reports.
But you did see this incident reported on the news.
Yes.
So said, if you want to watch the trial, go to Law and Crime. Part of this is our commentary. I don't mean to hijack that from you, Mike, but I
couldn't agree more. I'm not here to simply replay somebody else's video. It's that simple.
Did you see where the vehicle went when it passed your position?
Objection. Can we just clarify whether that's at the gas station or the parade?
Sustained.
Sorry for that. I'll clarify.
Thank you.
Do you recall seeing where the vehicle went when it passed your position at the parade that evening?
Continued down the parade route.
Isn't it amazing that immediately
Well,
Karen
stated
goes
that
that
during
she
the
couldn't watch
parade,
it without the comments?
seen the vehicle.
That's too
you have
perfect.
seen the driver.
Thank you, Karen B.
Are you sure that how are you sure that that driver of the vehicle you saw at the gas station was the same vehicle at the parade?
I know that they were both red SUVs, Ford SUVs.
Were you yourself sure that they were the same vehicle?
They were the same model, same color, same make.
So what is the make and model, if you recall, of the vehicle that you saw at the gas station?
Ford Escape.
And how did you come to that determination based on your observation at the gas station?
Because I know a decent amount of cars.
And it said Ford Escape on it.
Might have.
What do you mean by decent?
Might have also had a matching license plate.
I don't know all makes, but I know this one for sure because I had a friend that had the same exact make and model.
Whiskey made me do it.
So are you yourself able to just look at a vehicle and tell the make and model?
Some, yes.
I feel bad for this woman. She seems like she's really uncomfortable.
She's doing great.
She's doing fantastic,
Say somehow
but she
off.
just seems really uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, she doesn't want to be there.
No, of course not. She's subpoenaed, but
She's sweet. I want to give her a hug.
yeah.
And like a friendly hug, you know. Not like a Mike
So that
Dottie
brings
adventure
me
hug.
back to the driver. You say that you didn't see the driver of the vehicle you saw.
I have to clarify.
How do you know?
This is how you get. This is how you
There was
get me
the
too,
same driver.
Mike.
I'm asking how to
Rephrase your question, please.
do you know if it was the same driver?
No.
Yep.
No further questions?
All right, thank you. You may step down. And you are excused from your subpoena.
Good.
It's 4:34, so we will end for the day.
Oh.
And I will read my instructions to you. The jury, once again, do not begin your deliberations and discussion of the case until all the evidence is presented.
All right.
And I have instructed you on the law.
I suppose
Do not
that's it.
discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else until
Should we
your
just go
final
straight to Judge
deliberations
Manning?
in the jury room.
Yeah, let's do it.
This order is not limited to face-to-face.
I'm not actually kidding. That would actually be fun. I need a little bit of a palate cleanser.
5 minutes just to clear the palate?
Such as a mobile
Yeah.
phone or computer, text or instant messaging or social networking sites to send or receive any information about.
Let me see if I can find it.
Experience as a juror. If you come in contact with the parties, lawyers, interpreters, or witnesses, do not speak with them. For their part, the parties, lawyers, interpreters, and witnesses will
Oh,
not
God.
contact or speak with the juror.
Tomorrow's
Do
gonna
not
be
listen to
brutal.
any
Are you doing
conversation
it?
about this case. Do not research any
I mean, at this
information
point,
that
you
the
kinda
person
have
thinks
to,
might be
right?
helpful to you in understanding the issues presented. Do not investigate this.
All right, position 10, pretrial 22 CP 210404, Tamika Fontenot. 108 days with no indictment. There is a $20,000 good bond set by another judge on July 6, 2022. 108 days with no indictment. There is willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer by use of threats or violence, felony, simple battery against a police officer, police dog, correctional detention officer, and battery family violence. Pre-trial.
Defendant has 4 cycles. The defendant's last arrest was September the 21st, 2015 in Fulton County for obstruction of an officer, simple battery, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, an aggravated assault, and a failure to appear. There was no disposition for that arrest. The defendant has 1 misdemeanor conviction. It was in 2016 out of Clayton County for false report of a crime. Nothing in addition.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Cole.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Fontenot has been in 108 days with no indictment. She is at a $20,000 bond right now. She is 32 years
no
old.
indictment.
She
I
does
don't
have a
do
stable
this.
address. It
It
is the
doesn't
address that's
sound good.
provided. She's lived there for about
Sounds
8
like a
years.
speedy trial
That
violation.
is subsidized housing through
little
10
bit.
Park Place, which is a mental
3
health
months.
organization that provide her with psychiatric help as support and medication as well. I have confirmed with her family today that her housing is stable and she can return to that apartment and redo services with 10 Park Place. She has 2 children who are 9 and 6 years old. One of her priorities is getting released in order to be able to resume visitation with them.
Thank you.
She has her high school diploma from 2008 and also attended some college at Atlanta Technical College. And she's currently on SSI for MH diagnoses.
I saw the one the
Your
other
Honor,
day.
she doesn't
where
have
it was
anything
like
to put up for bond.
328
She
days
does have a pending application with the
without
BHTC
actually
program, as well as she does have mental health support when she is released through 10 Park Place, as well as that apartment. We're requesting $5,000 so that if BHTC doesn't go through, that we are, the Behavioral Health Treatment Court, that we are able to go through the bail project in order for her to get stabilized again outside through the support of 10 Park Place. We are fine with conditions as well, as long as she has the ability to conduct visitation. I believe the complaining witness is the children's father, but I don't believe the children are in his custody either.
All right. What says the state?
Judge, the state notes that this defendant is a graduate of the Behavioral Health Court program, having been referred to that program on indictment 15SC137900 for charges remarkably similar to the charges that she's currently facing. That case was dismissed after she successfully completed what was then track 1 of the program on November the 3rd of 2017.
Thomas White.
I've seen White
Judge,
before.
given the fact that this is an
He's not a
attack
fan
upon a law
favorite.
enforcement officer, the state is opposed to any further reduction in
He's
the
not
bond,
particularly well
and it is because of her previous history with the mental health program, mental health court, highly unlikely that she would be reaccepted into that program at this time. Nothing
Your Honor, I
further.
have been in communication with the program. They are willing to reaccept her if she meets qualifications. They were out to interview her again today, and they are considering readmittance into the program. So I do want to state that. I also want to state it's been since 2015 of when she was charged with those charges. So it has been 7 years. She completed the program 5 years ago. So this is an MH case that does bring certain complications, and there are ups and downs with MH cases, but it does look like it was successful for a long time.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with Terrence, TERRANCE Brown.
Great job.
Stay away from 4900 Delano Road in Atlanta, Georgia.
Your Honor, that's her address.
Yeah, that's also where this victim was, though.
Your Honor, that was the children's father. He came over to her residence. She's the only person on the lease.
On there, it said that they resided together.
Your Honor, I've confirmed with my client he was staying over there because they were in a relationship, but the housing is her housing through 10 Park Place. He does not live there. He is not on the lease.
Mr. White, have y'all spoke with this alleged victim? Do you know where he's living?
I have not personally spoken with him. Hang on, I'm making sure what our
He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He never does.
what our victim contact actually is. I have notes that
I was going to say it, but yes,
that there has been victim contact, but I'm trying to dig into notes and see
Ms. Cole, I
exactly
think, has done a fantastic job.
what that means.
yeah. She points out. I mean, she's on the lease. He came over and did it there, so you got to switch that order. Judge will switch it.
Well, she's the one that did it, but it's her place.
Ms. Cole, I don't know if he...
Judge, we were last in contact with the victim in July, on July 21st.
I gave him the benefit
And
of
it
the doubt
appears
for
that
his
his
part.
address
At this
is
point,
the
I'm
incident
losing a little patience with him.
location. The state would request to stay away from that address as it
So, Ms. Colt, what I'll do is I'll put stay away from that address, Madam Clerk, if the alleged victim, Terrence Brown, is living there. So it may be something, Ms. Colt, you get something where he's probably not supposed to be living there. If you get a letter from them that, or something that he's not living, then I'll be glad to amend it, okay? So if he's not there, ma'am, you can go there. He may be crashing at your place while you're gone, which is ridiculous. So you have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a curfew for court, lawyer, medical, or MH treatment. But yeah, you can't go back to that address. So Madam Clerk, if Mr. Brown is there. So maybe she wants to send somebody over there ahead of time, Ms. Cole, on something to figure it out. And if y'all get proof that he's not, come on back. I'll let I'll sign, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So
All right. I just need one for therapy. I just need one. I heard pre-trial, and she blows through a whole case right there. Boom, boom, boom.
That's fine. Give me, before you close the stream, can I take 1 second to post the trial by combat link if somebody asks for it? And if you could vamp for 2 seconds while I get
Trial by combat was fantastic. And it wasn't so much John, it was his awesome guest that really brought that one together.
Oh, always.
And his extensive research on the topic.
That's always exactly what it is.
Oh, so how many? That's your fifth video, fourth or fifth?
I think that's my fifth video.
You are booming. You're booming
I'm doing
along.
okay. That was 2,700 views.
There you go. I've been haranguing you for months, but when you were ready, you finally did it, and you've gone after it, and it's excellent.
So let me post this one up before we close out. Hang on. Oh,
seriously, thanks for hanging with me all day today. That you know what, that 3 minutes of cleanse with Judge Manning was probably just what the doctor ordered at the backside.
Oh, absolutely. That was desperately needed. You have no idea.
After all that pro se bullshit, we've got a competent judge going, all right, pre-trial, let's go.
Oh, Lord, that was such a freaking nightmare.
It was an interesting day. You know, the height of weirdness today was his opening statement. The whole day was interesting. I
thought that his opening statement was going to be the height of the crazy, but it actually turned out not to be.
Oh, it didn't matter which tact he took. I'd be surprised, but he took that one, which is I'm going to cry like a friggin'. I'm going through my brain to say something that won't get me in trouble. I'm having a hard time because all the options are trouble.
Fair enough.
He cried like something that cries too much.
Yes.
Most of the things that cry too much, you don't want to name because they're going to cry about it.
Fair point. That is kind of definition.
That's the problem I'm having. That's my analogy issue I've got right now.
Lord. All right. I cannot figure out a way to do this properly, so maybe
don't worry about it. Jay Robine.
Yeah. Jay Robine, Robine, law.
I will put a link in the description.
Not a brat
That video
guy.
is also linked in my community tab.
All right, cool.
So there you have it. Thank you for coming by. I guess I'm doing this tomorrow.
I think at this point you're kind of locked in.
He's banged out 2 more witnesses. I don't know what's on the schedule for tomorrow. I think I do have court. Whatever. I'll get on that right now with Yesenia and see if she can clear it out for me.
Well, you tell me.
I don't have a trial or a doubt, which is a hard.
If I have to cover it for a little while, that's okay.
Okay. Because here's the thing: this thing could go for another week easily because he sucks and he doesn't know what he's doing and he's flailing around. However, we blew through like 3 witnesses.
We got 10 witnesses, and I don't think anyone has patience for him anymore.
I mean, theoretically, this thing could be done tomorrow, or like my guess is more Monday. But I mean, I think we're near
Monday. I mean,
and we've come this far. You might as well just ride it out.
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly in that regard, but I don't know if the court has patience to go over the weekend.
Yeah.
I genuinely just don't.
I almost hope they do because I don't want anybody killing my ginger golden goose.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, I mean, you can't beat it, really.
You know what? You know, at this stage of the game,
We'll
you've
take
given me enough promotion that's fair.
It's
I'll
all
be
good.
your
Thank
trusted
you, thank you,
clown.
brother. No, seriously, I am. I'm coming down. You know, I get to Florida on a fairly regular basis. All I need to do is alter plans slightly, and I can get to Tampa.
All right. I mean, I'd be happy to do a night, and we'll chill for a couple drinks, whatever.
We'll go out and find some trouble. Well, you know, maybe we can get some like keepers to like watch us. You know.
Yeah, maybe.
Make sure we don't. I don't want any felonies out of the deal.
Fortunately, in my life, I've never actually been charged with a felony. So, you know, after 30 years, it's
Well
pretty
played,
good track
my man.
record, as opposed to a lot of the people we see in the bond courts. God, freaking 70 warrants on one of those.
I don't know that I can necessarily say that, but well, you know.
Either way, we'll keep it tame.
All right. Oh, Vanguard. Works child crazy right now. Please switch. Oh my God. Are you serious with this? All right. I'm going back.
Up?
I'm not kidding this. I didn't make this up.
Oh God almighty.
What's going on? I just don't have. I'm grabbing the.
Are they trolling you?
List that was provided.
Oh no, they're back up.
The reasonable thing we can do at this point, because I don't know really what else to do.
By the list that was given.
Thank you, Vanguard.
What was the order of the list that you were given?
I thought we were done for the day. God.
Kohler and Guth. The next line has 3 names: Patterson, Bertram, Hayes. The third line has 3 names: Reimer, Aldrich, and Lescano. The last list has 2 names and then also reads the state of Wisconsin.
First 3 people on the list, you need to advise to be here tomorrow at 8:30.
Okay.
The next 2 people tomorrow at 10:30. The next 2 people after that tomorrow at 1:30. The next 2 people from there at 3:30.
Now we know what's going on.
And then do I have anyone left over from there?
No. Yeah.
One more?
No.
If I have to go late tomorrow, then I would say the last person can be at 4:30 if need be.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
I
can
agree.
find it.
We would very much like to get through the defense witnesses tomorrow, Your Honor.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Well, that's the order that I'm making in terms of the times people need to show up. That gives you a range of people to select from.
I'm gonna have to see that what you're referring to then, because
Well, I trust you wrote it down because that's what I did.
I
So
didn't. I
we
didn't
are at
write it down.
recess then for the evening. We'll see everyone tomorrow.
That one
at
sucks
8:30
for you.
a.m.
If they don't get
Everyone.
called like that, don't try to blame it on me.
Oh, sweet Jesus. What?
Don't try to blame it on me because you're making reasonable ordering decisions of witnesses that are being subpoenaed.
Okay, so to all the pearl clutchers who just want to do this, now you're not going to just randomly switch over to Judge Manning, then hear John and I be stupid, and then come back to catch the tail end of the trial. Where else are you going to get that sort of coverage?
No, you would never get that anywhere. You kidding me?
Everyone else would do rational stuff like stay with the original video till it was done.
Well, I know Kurt was covering it on his channel, but we got, I think, what was it? We topped out at like $3,000, and I think he was about 600. So I mean, if he wants to come and hang out with us, maybe that's a better way to go.
He has come. He did, and it was fun. We had a little club, Kurt. Yeah, was that yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, that was yesterday. But he decided to do it himself.
He went
But
his
you
own
people
way.
are the best, and that's really what it comes down to.
You guys are the best. I know this is rambling mess, but we got through it all. I did cut off the other day too, right when he ripped up his order that his order on jurisdiction that she gave him.
Oh my God!
But you know what? I just grabbed the clip and played it the next day to start. Like a G.
It was.
You know what I'm saying?
This guy is an absolute disaster.
I have to rewind. Okay, fine. So there at most is 5 minutes of material that I didn't see while I was watching Manning, which was probably better. Let's face it. And I can
I got my cigarette ready.
Is this coming back on?
Now I think it's
that you have yet to prove on the record.
Oh, this is
But
Natalie.
somehow I'm being intentionally disruptive. Come on, man. Stop. Just stop it.
Jury's coming out.
All right for the jury.
You know what this is?
Not gonna work.
Nah, that's older stuff.
You know what that is? That's that channel. It just stopped. It went to the next video, and YouTube thought I should go to Natalie Lawyer Chick next, and she's starting a video.
Yeah,
on the same topic.
You know what? So she's been doing kind of like recap.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how she cuts it so quickly. That's actually kind of impressive for me from a technical perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's basically how that's going. My understanding as a practical matter is that he was arguing ordering in the next day and into Monday because he still has 10 witnesses on his list. Like we said, usually
the judge is always going to say load them up within reason. They don't want to waste people's time, but she's like, I've seen your questioning. I've seen where you're going. You don't have shit. You probably break down crying like a big baby halfway through 3 or 4 of them. So let's line them up because we can bang them all out tomorrow. And if not, we'll let it seep into Monday. But there's no reason we can't get it done tomorrow. That's the judge's thinking.
I agree with you. However, from what I had heard, I actually think just in that last couple seconds, or what is it, minute and a half, I think the judge is going to let this bleed into Monday.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
The question then just becomes a matter of what is your ordering?
The question becomes, what sort of novel ginger jokes can you guys come up with over the weekend, to keep it fresh on Monday? I think that's the question everybody's asking, really.
Fair enough. I mean, that really is honestly, when it comes to this case, the fundamental question that needs to be asked.
We're going to get there. Okay, so then he gets done.
Yeah.
The state's going to need a while for their closing. I wouldn't say they're really appropriate. They're not over the top, but they want to show some video. They need 3 hours or something here.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Ballpark 3 hours, maybe a little bit more. But
they're not stupid. They wouldn't run off at the mouth if it was just a straight oral closing argument. But you are showing victims homicides.
Yes.
You're not shortcutting this.
No.
As a judge or a prosecutor.
I don't know how much they actually need to do at this stage of the game because
that proved the case. They could literally waive closing argument and win.
I know, but they have to do it to put the cover on the book.
They have to put the cover on the book. It's also therapeutic for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine you're going to have a lot of families in the stands probably Monday, and they want to watch the prosecution do this and get the conviction. I think that's the community service to some extent.
So we're thinking Friday, Monday here.
I'm thinking Friday, Monday,
maybe Tuesday.
Maybe Tuesday. I think the judge would like this to be done Monday. So maybe
I think that's plausible.
If he questions.
The other problem,
like,
though, is that
second
with
witness-
this COVID shit going on, if I'm the judge, I'm just like, I don't care. I'll stay here till 8 o'clock on Friday. I want this in and to the jury.
Yeah, but they had that conversation about scheduling precisely because there are a certain amount of witnesses that are going to be heard Monday. And so if they're hearing witnesses Monday.
Well, if you're going to listen, to what they're actually saying, it's basically cheating.
What do you mean?
If you're going to pay attention to the court proceedings and say reasonable things, your future on this channel is limited, my friend.
What, you mean actually
I want wild
practicing law?
speculation based on nothing. That's what we do here at
You mean actually practicing law? Oh God, no! I think that because she's already said that she's kind of breaking up because he has, what is it, 10 more witnesses? You're not going to get through all of them tomorrow.
He's done. He did.
The second one, if he did all of them like the second one, which I think
He
was
did
about
2
40
witnesses today. He did 1 before, so that's 3. He listed 13. One was in the state of Wisconsin.
So he's down to 9.
He released 1 from a subpoena.
So he's down to 8. You think you're going to do you think he's going to do 8 witnesses in a day? I think he's going to do everything in his power not to.
I don't think he'll get through 8 witnesses ever either. I don't think he'll do 8 witnesses by the end of the case because he's going to release some more subpoenas or some people aren't going to show up. He's not going to get every one of those. But there'll probably 5 more actual witnesses.
All right.
And he can probably get them done. There are probably 5 more actual witnesses. He could easily get them done tomorrow, but won't, and it'll bleed into Monday, which is effectively agreeing with you.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah, it'll bleed a little bit into Monday, and then the question just becomes: do we want to do closing arguments?
Yeah, I mean, even if he's done,
Monday might be a short day, and they just say we do closing arguments, then we go to deliberations on Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, even if he gets done, like I think it's too late. Even if they complete his witnesses and he rests, which he won't. There'll be an hour argument about saying the word "I rest."
Yeah.
After the witnesses are done.
Yeah.
But let's say you even have all that and it's done. It's like 4 o'clock on Friday. You can't go to closing argument on this case at 4 o'clock on Friday.
No.
The state's going to take hours. And you don't know what he's going to take. But you can't. He probably won't take any time because he already gave his stupid closing as an opening. What else is he? He's going to cry like a baby again. That's what he's going to do. He's got nothing. He's got nowhere else to go.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
But you can't, as a judge, you can't say, well, I saw his opening, so I gave him no time for closing. Which is rational as all get out, but not
his
great.
Opening
not a great look for the appellate court.
Just without evidence.
There's no evidence.
He has no evidence. I mean, he said, Mama Chama says that he said his closing will take 4 hours.
Who said his closing will take 4 hours?
One of the folks in your chat.
Who, the state or the defense?
The defense claims that he was going to take 4 hours for a closing. I don't know what you use the 4 hours for, but okay.
No, it won't, because it won't. He's got.
You don't have anything. You don't have anything to fill that time, but. Oh, God Almighty. All right. Well.
All right. There you have it. You're awesome. I'll see you in the morning, man.
Likewise.
Good times.
Have a good night.
Good night. Thanks, everybody.
Take care, folks.